dice. Oh God. Okay, are we there? Yes. Okay, it's all working. I can see all your faces now.
So yeah, I got the Dune reference, obviously.
Okay,
unlike
brilliant.
the rest of you.
Yeah, but
Sorry,
yeah.
I don't spend like 40 hours of my life reading 1,000-page books. About
Anyway, we are
fucking
live.
worms.
I'm sure you've
I'm
read
ashamed to
Game of
admit,
Thrones.
I've been reading God Emperor of Dune, and it's really bad.
It sounds awful. Anyway,
It's
hello
tremendous.
to anyone who's watching. This is Eaters the Earth, this strange and twisted science fantasy world. As always, I do need to say this setting is inspired by the video game Case of Cud. So thanks to Freehold Games for giving us permission to use their amazing setting. I do think I forgot to do that last week. That's my bad. So anyone who's watching, tragedy strikes. Amelia has had to leave the group. We've put out a little candle for her. Unfortunately, she is a student at Lambda who are now holding their seminars. We've got a lot of American
That's
students.
it. Unfortunately, she's a student at Lambda.
No. They're doing their courses in the evening because they've got American students. So unfortunately, she's I believe she's in a course right now. I can't even watch. We shed a tin, and I've lit a little candle for her in her window on the stream.
It's only a little bit creepy.
It's only a little creepy. It's the best I could do. I just googled candle GIF and threw it in there. In other news, annoyingly, due to COVID-19, uploading or processing on YouTube has been rather slow. So it's been a bit slow uploading the previous episode, but it is up now.
Sorry.
What? YouTube.
Sorry. How is COVID-19 making
I don't know.
YouTube uploading
This
slow?
is what they tell me. They sent me a message saying, "Hey, due to COVID-19, I think they've got less humans working on processing the videos, and it took way longer to process this time."
What, less humans in the big like hamster wheels that they run round and moves all the fucking videos onto the internet?
For a system that is
what is wrong with them?
I don't know.
Isn't
Look,
it
don't
just
ask
like a
me.
general excuse for everything now? It's virus. Don't worry about it.
No, probably. That's it for announcements. The other one is, if anyone's concerned, in regards to Amelia's character, Lola, we're going to do a slight retcon. This also pertains to all of you, that the Wizard Elect didn't suggest that she come with a lot of you on your trip to take him out setting. Instead, he's going to kind of find somewhere for her to stay within Behel for now. So that's the retcon we're going to do, to have Lola remain within the story, but, cease to be a player character. Anything from anyone else before I recap and we start? Cool, all good. Oh, by the way, I will say... Harry? What's he doing?
Is that audible?
No.
Yes.
Okay. He's typing on a keyboard now that isn't incredibly loud.
Okay.
Good.
No more keyboard sound, I promise.
Brilliant. I should say as well, by the way, if anyone picks up any references I make, if you pick them out, I will give you inspiration for the game. Just as
Talking to the viewers or us?
No, to players, to play characters. If you guys,
I got no chance at all.
Pick up.
And if you know, just them in the chat. Let us know.
The reference you were mentioning earlier about Dune and the Golden Path. I initially thought, because I wasn't listening very carefully, that it was the Golden Calf, and it was going to be some sort of do not depend on this too closely, foolish player. And then since I started reading God Emperor of Dune, which is riddled with the Golden Path, it's unmissable.
Anyway, cool. Should we get into it then? So, last time you were all brought together due to the Wizard Elec seeking Lola to give him a rather strange prediction in regards to his death. Over the course of an evening, through different means and for different reasons, Elec requested that... hold on. Someone's getting an echo. Grace, is that you? I think we had this last time.
It could be.
Yeah.
I could just put some headphones on.
I would suggest doing that. They are plugged in, right? Okay, cool.
What do you mean?
Sorry. So over the course of an evening, through different means, Ilek requested that all of you travel with his assistant, Nuh, who was going to be heading east for purposes as of yet undisclosed, and in exchange he could offer you pay, favours, or both. Lola and Ailey had been quarantined due to them possibly holding the terrible shale plague, and Ailey did get sick, but thankfully with the arrival of Carilia and Ilek in the morning, Carilia used her psychic powers to remove the illness from Ailey before it took root. And also, as I said, in the middle of the night prior, Elec had visited had visited Lola, and overheard by Ailey, had received this rather macabre method of divination that required the sacrifice of a pig. And Ailey will have overheard the question put forward: "Am I going to die in the coming conflict?" And the answer of yes. Although I will say that for Ailey, you're not aware of any particular conflict currently in or coming to Alakfazi, this land you're in. So, yeah,
well, I am now.
You might be now, yes, but it was not something that was known to you before. Anyway,
and did the guy seem quite kind of cheerful about his coming death?
So when Carillia saw him the next day, although you as characters haven't necessarily joined these dots yet, he did have perhaps a more upbeat sense to him. A certain spring in his step. Cool.
Interesting.
So we're going to start off with Carillia returning to Fabat's house, where you stayed last night with Barnelect and his friend Lox, the lion woman. It's early morning, sun's coming up, bright sky, clear. Behel has these large, kind of pale buildings, only kind of 1 or 2 stories high, very square, but arranged in a kind of strange, broken up pattern that breaks the winds that come from the east. The streets already this early are beginning to bustle with people dressed in every colour. I will say that Barnelect and Lox have, cleaned themselves up and dressed themselves for the morning, and you're perhaps waiting around the entrance to Fabat's house as Carillia approaches alone.
Where's our little poncho friend?
Our little poncho friend, Zurab. Zurab stayed here last night as well.
Definitely taller than most of the people here. Not the camel, obviously.
No, but... Barnelect the camel person is probably the tallest. Actually, no, Lox would be taller than Barnelect, so Lox is the tallest person here. Zurab will be there as well.
Oh, good. Zurab's there as well.
Yeah.
Also, I've just looked at the stream, right? And it really does look a lot like Amelia has died.
I need to see this stuff.
Okay, I will get.
I think the words written in peace.
There we go. Just a candle.
But even just the candle, okay, maybe not. Also, the dice screen is.
Oh God.
You gotta log in.
The dice stream is dead.
I like how it says "rip in peace."
Yeah, it's good. It's a good meme, isn't it?
It's a good meme.
All right, let's see if I can get this to work. This thing keeps not working, but hopefully we'll get there.
Oh, great! It's Liv. Love Shannon so much.
Yeah. Anyway,
which is good.
So.
That's an uncommon message.
There we go. Dice is working. Brilliant. So it's morning. Carillia's approaching. Zurab, perhaps. I don't know. What are you doing? As you've been outside of this place, kind of gathering yourselves. Fabat is perhaps getting dressed for the day inside, although his equipment is at the tower at the center of Behel. What is everyone doing as they gather?
So we all 100% know that we're all going together on a little trip.
No, so you may not have been told. Barnelect, Zurab, and Lox all know they're traveling together, and Carillia. I suppose all of you know you're traveling, except for you're not aware that Ailey has also been made this offer. And just to be clear, so what it is that it's tomorrow morning that you'll be heading out with Nuch. So you have a day in the city to prepare any equipment, any connections, anything you like.
I'm thinking like a Ferris Bueller's Day Off kind of charade.
Oh yeah. Beach day.
Tragically, no beaches. Although if you head, if I just quickly, let's see if the map screen is working properly. Yeah, it is. So you could head far, far westward to get to the Still Sea. beyond Udrind if you wanted, but
In a day?
no, that would take more than a few days, I think.
We could just ride directly away from the
unfortunate.
plot, do you think?
Yeah, fuck
You
the
can do.
plot.
You're free to. I mean, the plot might chase after you. Who knows?
The plot follows, we'll kill it.
So yeah, this
So
is
I
where you
go up to Barney and I've forgotten your name already, Poncho Boy. I'm sorry.
are. Zurab.
Jurab. It's because your character, you said his voice sounds like Zizek, and so they've like melded in my head because they're both Z.
Well, his name starts with a Z. Okay.
Exactly.
Also, I noticed that you said his voice sounds like Zizek as a really like unpleasant, subtle dig at the fact that the voice doesn't actually sound like Zizek.
That wasn't a dig.
I'm sure you've all been practicing your
Sorry,
voices.
I know you're uncomfortable about your ability to do the voice, but
Anyway,
Yeah, I'm really uncomfortable. I'm going to keep trying. I think it'll be
great.
alright.
I really like it.
You clearly have no idea who Zizek even is, do you, Sam?
I have no idea of the
Yeah,
reference.
I thought not.
Anything.
Thought not.
Sam, do you not know who Slazov? I can't even say his name now. Slazov Zizek is. Blimey.
He's a meme. So you might know him from a meme.
Oh, maybe.
he's
But
a great
I'm.
man of our age, isn't he? Is he not?
He's great. Have you seen the guy eat hot dogs? It's quite impressive.
I'll look it up after the stream, and I'll.
So I go up to Barney and Jurab. I'm like, well, it's been a while since I've travelled with friends. Okay.
You're free to talk. You just stare at her in silence as you say something else.
I'm just nodding.
Um,
Is that what we are? Are we friends?
I guess.
I'm saying that in an endearing way, not as is that what we are? Are we friends? It's like the opportunity of friendship. It excites me.
Eager like a puppy, not what?
Not eager like a puppy, not dark like a Doberman.
Sorry, the effect of lockdown may be such that whenever I meet anyone in the game and speak to them for 2 seconds, I'm like, we're best friends. This is how social interaction works.
Yeah.
You want to move in together? Harry says,
I mean, you guys are just still standing there in silence, I guess. Lox will perhaps kind of curiously regard Carillia, maybe look to you, Barney, for some sense of things, and then kind of snort hot breath out of her nose, kind of wafts over your heads, I suppose, and then maybe we'll put a hand on. How tall is Carillia, actually? She'll be fairly short, won't she?
yeah, she's quite short, unfortunately.
Maybe she'll put a hand on your head then, and then we'll say, we can be friends, little one. I have matters to attend to, Barney. Can you take care of yourself?
I think I can. Yeah.
I'll
see you soon.
Yes, and she kind of
do we hug?
Walks off.
No,
I think
a hugger.
No, your friendship is beyond hugs at this point. No.
And with the plague going on, we're not allowed to shake hands.
She goes off to socially distance. Fairly soon afterwards, Fabat will come out of his house. You can see the fairly smart kind of tunic clothing he wears. Under, that had previously been concealed by his, bronze breastplate and the other trimmings of his office. Oh, you're all still here, Carillia? You all right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm off to work. Look, Barney. Has Locke's already left?
Yes. She's just gone.
Ilek and I have now officially parted ways in terms of work. I would prefer to stay out of his business. You're still always welcome in my home, of course, but I would appreciate if you do continue to do him favors and the like. Try to keep that separate from me, if possible.
Of course. Thank you very much.
You understand?
Of course, yes, I do.
And he kind of nods to all of you. Zurab, says hi to you as well, and then quickly leaves on his way.
He's a good soul.
Well, I guess you two know the city quite well.
I do.
What's to see? What's to do?
Wow, montage. Well, we've got a day. We could try the local cuisine. we could probably get ready for our journey by going to get supplies. That sounds like it could be a good thing. We're waiting for Nuh, I think.
So you were told to meet Nuh at the eastern gate at tomorrow morning, sunrise. So you haven't been told if Nuh is meeting you earlier than that. He's generally, Ilek is fairly sparse on details. Feel free to go to try to find out if you want.
Yeah, but well, you know, I'm happy with just keeping it in the moment. You know, I'm that kind of guy. So yeah, you know, what you could pick one thing you wanted to do right now, just one crazy thing. What would you do?
Well, I've always wanted to fly.
That one might be difficult.
So we'll say, I mean,
just to be clear, is this conversation involving me? Like,
well, Harry, you have to inject yourself at some point.
Standing next to us.
You've had
I
opportunity
can't
to
remember
talk.
if I was addressed at the beginning with you two, or whether that was referring to someone else.
No,
Shannon.
you were addressed.
You were there.
Thank you.
I mean, Fabat nodded to you. You didn't say anything. Zurab has to speak.
Yeah, well,
him to speak.
in that case, I'm gazing with sort of flabbergasted exasperation at this inane fucking conversation.
So I will say, Kirilia, having just come about this morning, gone to the sick house and back, you probably will have seen possibly more, like, about the same amount of people in a morning that you may have previously seen for all of your life, given the circumstances you come from. So you might be slightly, I don't know, you can tell me how you react, but you are experiencing a lot more people, just in terms of, at least, visually, than you might be
I'm
used to.
fully loving it. I'm loving the hustle and bustle of city life.
Is there a tall peak in this town?
Is there
Are
a
you going to
tall
throw me
peak?
off it?
No, there's no cliffside. There is the riverbank, which is fairly steep. There's a bridge you can throw people off of, leaving the city, crossing the river. And of course, there's the tower, but you would have to infiltrate it and get to the top if you wanted to throw someone off it, which you can certainly try to do. That would be quite a fun episode, trying to...
Well, you know, I do know... I don't think I can help you fly, but I do know some really high places in this city. And if we want to get to the highest place, it's in the tower. Should we infiltrate the tower?
Well, that sounds like something that'll take up like 3 or 4 hours.
Real time or game?
Real.
Yeah.
Listen, I have another idea of what I would like to do.
Thank God.
And this could fill some time, and it would be a lot of fun for us all. Now, what about if you two come with me, and you can make distractions, and while I rob shopkeepers of their wares.
Oh.
No.
No, it's a great fun, I promise. Listen, it's the greatest sport there is.
Yeah, but do we get any of the spoils, if you will?
Yes, of course. 20, 60%.
20, 60%.
Is percent a thing that exists in this world?
Yeah, fractions. I mean, mathematics exists, of course. Percentage maybe not, but okay.
We're a disgusting world.
My morals are pretty on the nose of, and the nose in this instance is good.
I will say
so
that
I'm not going to.
Jurab perhaps leaning against.
What did that sentence mean?
I would say Jurab perhaps leaning against a doorway has not noticed, although Kirilia and Barnlect have, that the door to Fabat's house is open ajar, and you can see his wife inside, looking slightly startled, having overheard Jurab's words.
Anyway, about this crime spree that we are planning to go on.
Hey, now, I don't think that we should do that.
Well, I wouldn't mind watching him if we didn't get involved.
I mean, yes, but I don't feel comfortable with that. I don't think that's a good idea. But maybe if. Hey, why don't we all go shopping, and pay for.
I know a monk. I can introduce you to my monk friend.
Oh, Oh, I mean, I'm not sure what benefit that will have for us in the coming quest that we've been put. I just spat everywhere. Quest that we've been put on, but sure. Let's go see the monk friend. Let's do something.
I'll lead him back to the sick house.
Um,
Oh, you coming? You coming, Harry?
Wait,
perhaps Fahabat's wife will leave by the door, trying to both hold her children close to her while also holding a wicker basket and kind of eyeing Jurab with a lot of alarm. Is this
and of course, I was making a funny joke earlier when I discussed the idea of a crime spree, which was largely metaphorical for the, we're going to set this town on fire with, and I just sort of trail.
She kind of looks from Jurab to the more familiar Barnelect and kind of goes, kind of looking to you, like you can quite clearly see in her eyes there is a question of, is this a joke?
I've just met this lovely man, but he, from what I can tell, he is a hoot with
This
a
man
capital
stayed in my
H.
house last night.
Pardon?
This man stayed in my house last night.
Oh, I know. What a wisecracking, gun-toting man this guy is, huh? He's just a laugh a minute, isn't he? He's great. It's fine.
Can you give me a persuasion
We're not
check,
accomplices
Sam?
to anything. Sorry?
Can you give me a persuasion check, Sam?
Oh.
Can I give him advantage by also persuasively telling a joke? I can't think of a joke. Don't actually. You're going to ask me to tell a joke now, aren't you?
I'm just going to throw one. And let's see. So that's 8 plus persuasion equals 13.
13. Okay. She looks from Jurab to you and kind of quite, you can see very deliberately doesn't say anything before the door is closed. But she does look back to Jurab and go, my sister-in-law is in the house. She can defend herself if that is of concern to you.
That's good to know.
And I wouldn't think you would be stupid enough to risk offending a captain of the city guard.
Oh, no, definitely not. I'm very good friends with the city guard. I've got along very, very well with many of them in past places that I've visited and left in a hurry as well. But not for any particular reason.
Shitty
Can I
guard.
leave this conversation now?
Some of my
just
best
want to
friends
like.
are cops.
She leaves fairly summarily. But
Right,
perhaps
before
just...
Remember all that inspiration you were going to hand out to us last time?
You still have inspiration. You haven't spent it. You haven't spent it, so I can't give you more.
I know. But just remember the good role playing we did last.
I recall.
time.
So
I've
right,
already
we've got to warm up.
forgotten how
Got to warm up.
inspiration works in this. Like, it's just gone.
Oh.
Can you remind me?
So inspiration here is you can spend it to re-roll any one dice you've rolled.
Okay, cool. Gotcha.
So what are you doing? You're going to try to go back to the sick house to say hi to Alien Lola.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sure. You begin to make your way. As you're going around, as I said before, you see the colours, you see people coming out. The central kind of bazaar, the heart of the commerce of Behel, begins to swell again as all these different stilts and carpets are rolled out for people to trade up under or upon. And you see kind of you maybe catch the kind of the thrill of commerce and the kind of suppressed worries of the time. Maybe puts a kind of nervous smile on every merchant's face. You come over to the sick house. I mean, Carillia was only here about, let's say, 30 minutes ago, tops. But you return. As before, there's 2 guards standing outside. This square does have a few people coming and going through it. Although perhaps you looking around think that people are generally avoiding this place. The guards kind of look across. You think you maybe recognise them from this morning, Carillia. What are you doing?
Can you remind me what happened when I cured Ailey?
You came in under, aside Ilech, who is a wizard within the city, so is a position of authority, who kind of ordered the doors to this place opened, and then when he left, he basically kind of shouted at the guards to act like he wasn't there before they closed the door.
They're both still trapped inside.
Alien and Lola, yes, are both still inside the sick house, yes. Although he did say that he would try to make arrangements for them to be released early.
Okay. Well, how good are you guys at lying?
Oh, terrible.
Fantastic.
But was that a lie?
I trust both of you completely.
So what are we doing here?
Well, I've got some lovely friends in that house there, but they're kind of trapped a little.
Oh, are they the ladies that the ladies? Are they the ladies? They are ladies, but I don't know why that made me laugh. Are they the ladies that we met yesterday? Yesterday? Oh,
Turning into Jurab.
yeah.
Please don't.
Are those the ladies we met yesterday?
The monk and the real grouchy one, yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Are we gonna get them out so that they can help on our quest?
Did we actually meet them? Like, did we exchange?
You saw them, but you never exchanged words with them.
Barney said a few words.
Carillia spoke with them, but no one else did really.
No, I think Barney was like, "Hi."
Yeah, Barney's tried to walk through a hologram through a TV screen and got stopped, but that's about as far as you went. And then you used your approach to kind of listen to conversations that Ilek was having privately. But no, you haven't.
I look at the lizard.
Carillia has spoken with them a bit. I mean, Carillia came from what's the name of the city? Shannon, can you remember?
Okay, it's a mix between Cairo and Skyrim.
No.
Cairo.
Skyrim.
Osiro.
Osiro.
You came from Osiro with Ailey, who you healed up there as well. So you may share a certain amount of a bond at this point, but no one else here has any social connection to Ailey or Lola.
So you two know Ilek is kind of a big guy in the city, right?
Who?
Ilek.
Ilek.
Yeah.
Do I believe that they're good friends with him?
You can give me an insight check.
I would do that.
I mean, you can just ask Barney and Jurab, who are right in front of you, if you want.
Well, I did just ask, but Sam's response made me doubt. Oh, do I?
Sure.
Roll dice. I can. Roll dice.
I think I know Ilek.
Do you want me to roll
don't
for
I?
you? Yeah, you worked for him for 4 months. You've
Exactly.
worked directly under Ilek for 4 months. You got a 12.
16. Oh, yeah, 16.
Okay. I mean,
And he trusts me enough to put me on a mission.
You think that
You put me on the mission too. So.
You think that Jurab is kind of doesn't really know what's going on. You get to the sense that he may have been kind of thrust into this circumstance more than came into it just through kind of ordinary employment. But Barn Elect, you get the sense that he and Ilek have boss and subordinate relationship, but not perhaps one with the kind of the long the years of familiarity that maybe Fabat has for Ilek.
Right.
Given that you heard Fabat basically slightly insult Ilek to his face, which you're not really supposed to do. But
yeah. Oof.
Well, Barney, why don't you go over there and tell those two guards to let my friends out? That was not accident.
Now you see, well, I have several questions before I agree. I was wondering why.
I just wanted to hang out.
But if they're in the sick house, doesn't that mean they're
No, I cured them. They're all good.
Okay, yeah.
Fingers.
It might surprise you to know that I am with the giraffe on this one. Why would I want to spend time with someone who is quarantined? All right.
Sorry.
We're tackling the big questions here on Dice Capital. Yeah. Look, I'm. What was that roll?
That's I would say inside the sick house. Grace, would you say Ailey is awake at this point, or? Oh.
You're muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Alas. What time is it?
It's fairly early on. I mean, it might be about kind of.
I mean, if I healed her only half
7,
an hour
8.
ago, then
Yeah, you healed her,
So-
but like you may have gone back to sleep since then. Up to you.
Yes.
I think I have been making tea.
Okay.
I have all the gear for tea, so I think.
Are you sharing
I think
tea
Ailey,
with Lola
is-
at all, or?
Yeah, I think Ailey is from a culture where they're quite big on the proper process of drinking and consuming tea.
Sure.
They've been having a tea service.
Okay. I think Lola will kind of her back to the windows and doors out of this place. Will kind of. You see, she kind of perks up, kind of looks to you and goes. It was kind of Russian, wasn't it? The voice. I think our friends are outside, maybe. Or she probably wouldn't say friends. I think that person who healed you is outside, maybe.
that's all I get.
Can you hear?
It might be time to get out.
She can definitely hear soon because Jurab's going to start like raising a racket about having to be exposed to plague.
Yeah, I would just say that Lola's perception picks up perhaps just little sounds. She can't make anything out, but she thinks that she hears Corilla outside and alerts you to this. Do with that information as you please.
I'm going to go to one of these windows and sort of. They're barred up, but you can look through?
Yeah,
Right.
so they've placed wooden boards together to cover them up, so that it'd be fairly. You'd have to break through this thing to get out, but there are enough gaps that you can if you get your head close, you can see through to outside.
In that case, I'm going to go and I'm going to peek and see what's going on.
Okay, I will say that you see across in the square, Corellia, the person who the crocodile woman who healed you this morning, along with this kind of long-necked, camel-headed humanoid, and this ponchoed and wide-brim capped human mutant with a fishy side to his face, who you recognise from this strange apparition that appeared before you the evening previous. Mm-hmm. You can see they're having a conversation, but you can't hear what they're saying.
Tell me, what are the benefits of releasing this monk and witch lady?
Fun.
Sorry, say again.
Just think it'd be a bit fun.
You want me to spend time with disgusting, plague-ridden,
I heal them. They're perfect.
scum? That would be fun.
She's got the magic fingers, so she healed them. So if they could be beneficial to us on our quest, I think that they would be good.
You can heal the plague.
Well,
Oh,
Insight, please.
hold
Insight,
on a
please.
moment.
Insight, please.
Do you want me to roll for you?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's going to take ages to switch
That's all right.
windows to that one.
Let's see what you get. Oh, it's taking a while to load. Forget it, I'll just roll here. You got a 15. Plus whatever your
Solid.
modifier is.
I have that open somewhere.
I would get your character sheet up, yeah, that might help.
Yeah, I have it. It's just on separate windows. 17.
Sure. 17. Okay, yeah, you think that Corellia has some but not absolute ability to heal the plague.
So you they had the plague and you healed them, or you just healed them?
they had a little plague.
What's Jurab's grasp of germ theory?
I'd say it's about nil.
This sounds about right. Let's go in then.
Yeah, let's get her out. Them out.
So if you just tell them that they'll send you to get them out, that'd be super.
Sure.
So does Barn elect to cross this courtyard and approach these two guards out front?
I do.
One of them goes, "Oh, hello, Barney."
Do I know who this is?
Yeah, this is Copper Coin.
Good up. Copper Coin, my man. How are you doing?
I'm all right. What brings you down this way?
Well, it's a funny story actually. I bet you've heard the news about Ilek.
What news? We've heard some news, but
Some of us are jobless, and some of us are getting put into a big group and all of these sort of things.
job. I thought everyone was being put into the same army.
Yeah. There's a little clause I think that's in there, something about 4 months of working. Basically, me and Locks are we're an anomaly, but he has asked me to do something a little bit special. He sent me on a journey to you right now, my dear Coppercoin, to ask if you release those 2 prisoners, the monk and the witch.
Okay, give me a deception check.
I'd like to interfere with this.
Sure. How
Or
are
at
you
least-
interfering?
More accurately, I'd like to help. I'd like to say the wizard came in with a healer and he went out again. If he did that, he doesn't think I have plague. I'm safe to leave. You know this.
Okay.
My face at the bar is like, get me the fuck out.
Yeah, you hears Johnny through a gap in the boards. Okay, I will let Barnelect make this check with advantage then.
Thank you. Let's have a look. What is it? What
So
am
you
I
roll 2d20 and pick the higher one.
for what is it?
For
What am I-
deception, you're lying. So deception.
Deception. Great.
So you got
13.
10, 13. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Can I ask what they got?
actually, hold on. Sorry. Yeah. They got a. They've rolled a 14, so they get a 16.
Can I check? Can I give them an 8?
I will say now that lying is not a superpower. I don't tend to run the D&D games where on a really good charisma check you
fair.
can
Then I
seduce the
won't do it.
dragon. Charisma isn't psychic power. So, to a certain
Fair.
extent, if they doubt your... they kind of share a glance and go, do you have any proof of that? We weren't told about this.
I have made the situation more plausible by pointing out that
You have, but that isn't...
my company is apparently safe to the powerful and paranoid.
Sure, but that was a wizard, so they may consider that to be a bit outside of the, a bit beyond the pale in terms of disease prevention. Do you have any proof, Barney?
Coppercoin, listen. You know what he's like. He's very busy at the minute. He told us all that we were all getting into this, being put into this group just by word of mouth. You know how Alec is.
Yes, I mean, in regards to that, my understanding is that it was decided on fairly short notice, but is Lox not joining? I think everyone regards Lox as the strongest fighter here.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's interesting. I'm breaking character here. It's interesting that everyone else that we've spoken to about over is really confused as to why myself and Lox haven't been put
I have a
into
feeling
this
that
thing.
Barney's been lied to about who's getting kept on. That's what I
Sam,
think.
you're free to make your own
Anyway,
deductions, or as a group.
But yeah, so Barney's not thinking like that. Yeah, but Larks has been sent off. She's off doing some work herself at the minute, tending to business. So that Ilek has given her. So and Ilek has bestowed me the job of releasing these 2 prisoners.
Right, but we don't work for Ilek anymore, as you just explained.
So, well then I'll just go get them, and I just start walking in.
Hold on, Barney.
Yes.
So we don't take orders from Ilek. So why is it that under Ilek's orders we would open this door? I mean, if you bring the person themselves, they're a member of the council, their authority, fine. But I don't.
Fuck.
I think you might be confused about some things, Barney.
Me? Confused? Yes.
I think at this point, can I start looking for other ways in and out of the quarantine?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, you can.
God.
I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want to try to? I mean, you can give me a
Is
perception
it
check
a
and just
full
look.
building? Can I go all the way around
You can
it?
go around it. Yeah, sure. Might take a few minutes, but yeah.
I want to take a walk around it, sneakily looking for ways in or out.
Whilst this is happening, I just
Zurab just walks off from you.
Whilst this is happening, I just turn my head towards Corellia, like, for fuck's sake, you've set me up something proper here. That is true. You know, I think it's just the idea that jobs. This job thing is stressing me out a little bit. But hey, Coppercoin, you've always been one of the good guys. Do you think that you could just do me a solid here?
I mean, if you still work for Ilek, can't you just? I mean, he came down here this morning. It wouldn't be that.
Well, that's the thing.
Give me a persuasion check. Give me a persuasion check.
Okay. Ayo.
Again, can I help? Can I be like, he's a busy man. You saw that. He's got a lot to do. He's obviously, like, even I'm new here, and I can tell he's an important man with more important things to do with his time than come here and tell you to open the door a second time.
Listen.
Yeah, I'll allow help.
Imagine...
I'll allow help on that. So yeah,
Fucking
give me a roll and advantage, Sam.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I don't think saying "fucking do it" through the cap is going to really come
sorry.
up, but yeah,
that's the here's Johnny. It's not a character.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nat 20.
Nat 20.
Nice.
Copper coin.
Okay.
Copper coin.
So they kind of look at each other, and Copper Coin goes, "Well, I mean, I suppose so. I'm not going to get in trouble for this. You've checked this, not just with. Is it just Ilek telling you to do this, or? Because I hear. I mean,
sorry, say.
Is it just Ilek telling you to do this? Because Fabat has told me some horror stories about, you know. I really don't want to get in trouble for this.
Oh, Copper coin. Listen. I have just come from Ilek. He gave me this direct order. Don't worry, we're gonna go get her, and we're gonna go straight back out. And it's like we were never here, but we were here because we were sent here. You get it?
I'm gonna call right now that, like, in a session's time, we're going to come across the grieving widow and children of Coppercoin after he gets executed for this, like, betrayal or something. Just so you know, like, this is the sort of game that we're in, guys. This is definitely going to happen. That or the plague gets out and we just, like, watch the dead children in the streets or some shit like that.
Oh, but he's
I'm ready for
My
this.
experience of Liam's DMing is that we are all going to be fugitives because of this and not because of any other point of the plot. That's going to be the story now.
That's not quite fair. Sometimes your character was very flamboyant in the face of danger.
Oh no, I mean, I played the character who provoked all of that.
Yeah. Okay. So Copper Coin looks to his friends and goes, I suppose, and turns around and begins taking the bar off of the door.
Have I found any ways in yet?
Have you found? Okay, so going around, give me a perception check. I will say Lola looks to Ailey, says, I mean, I'm pretty sure he said he was going to let us out anyway. Do you think this is them? It's very fast.
Oh, damn it,
Ailey says, you can stay here. Stay here.
You got a 6. So looking around the back, you can see a few windows that you think are boarded up, but also would be kind of really too small for you to squeeze in anyway. Harry, you're silent, by the way.
A 6 turns into an 11. Does that make any difference?
Yeah, no, no, that's pretty sure I knew your perception.
Sorry, I tried to roll, and this god-awful website is literally just loading now.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I can roll for you if at any point you need. Lola kind of contemplates what you're saying and goes, and this is kind of just to bring in the retcon I've made where she's now going to be staying with Ilek. I think if maybe we are going separate ways, I will stay here. For now, I think.
Okay.
You sure this is wise move to be drawing attention. I remember what you said before about working with people.
And Aileen nods and she says, I do need the wizard's good graces.
Do you want to leave?
This door is slowly grating open against the sandstone ground.
I think Ailey actually is going to wait. She says to the guard, she says, I need the wizard. I'm going to wait here till he comes to get me.
Okay, well, if that's what you want, that's absolutely fine. I'll go get Ilek, and we'll do that. Coppercoin, you're a wonderful guy.
And she says, Barney, you do seem to be a useful person after all. Thank you for trying to help.
Oh, I just did that. Woke up.
That wasn't sweet. That was fucking patronising.
I know, but he's just
So
he just sees
Coppercoin
that
goes,
as...
so what am I doing now? Am I closing this? Barney, what the fuck
I think
is
you
going
should. I think you close the door.
Ailey put her foot in front of the door as it started to open. She's like, thanks, Coppercoin. I'll be sure to pass this along to your higher-ups. Oh, no, she doesn't say that. She says, thanks, Coppercoin. And then she kind of pushes it closed again.
I'm really confused by this. So am I waiting for Ilek to come back? I mean, he didn't say anything.
I say we wait for Ilek. You know, the last thing we want is for a fight to break out. You know, if well, I'm just saying.
Barney, you've done a lot of help. Thank you.
No, thank you. You're very kind.
You can go now.
Okay.
Just don't say anything that might make it worse, please.
Okay.
Thanks.
Coppercoin, the man. See you later.
He kind of gives a trailing Barney, kind of like, I'm not quite sure what happened here, but I might be in trouble.
Well, no one left.
The door's bar is put back. I think Ailey and Lola will both hear Coppercoin say to his friend, "The fuck was that all about?" While Karelia, Barnelect, and Jurab regroup. Jurab, you complete your circuit, having not found another entrance into this place.
It's interesting that once I remembered that we're playing in Liam's game, I was suddenly like, maybe I should side with the bureaucracy on this one.
He's a very Hobbesian approach to D&D than mine. Anyway, what are you doing?
I do find it interesting how you can see the DM's worldview, and I feel like in Liam's world, the bureaucracy is powerful and often right.
Well, not this setting.
Almost as if he has worrying authoritarian tendencies. Almost. Anyway, what am I doing? Sure, you found the monk.
We did, but she doesn't want to come out yet, quite understandably. So I think we're gonna leave that there. But it was a great idea.
No, you are right. It was a great idea. But since the first idea has now run dry, let's go with the second idea, the crime spree.
That sounds good.
How loud is Jurab saying this?
Not that loud.
Okay.
I just do it loud because it's the only way I can do the Zizek voices if I do it quite loudly.
Okay.
I would like to actually go and see a friend of mine, if that's okay. Just to say goodbye, because I don't know how long I'm going to be and all of that sort of stuff. So do you mind if I...
Is that a lie? Is that a lie?
Why didn't you roll perception?
No, it's not a lie. Jurab thinks that is not a lie.
Oh, God damn it. Fucking Jurab. He sucks. Well, it looks like it's just you and me, strange crocodile girl. Would you be excited to go and lift some valuables from various stores around the house? House? What? Town? City? Whatever this is.
I guess growing up in a tribe, Crelia wouldn't really know the concept of capitalism and theft.
Yeah, you might have a sense of barter though. I mean, you probably know that you can't just take stuff apropos of nothing.
I mean, she comes from like a warrior tribe that takes what they want, so.
Right, but you're not like. You didn't mention in your backstory that you're from some like gung ho murderous tribe that kills and raises as they please. You may be. My understanding was that you're from a fairly normal hunter gatherer tribe, but
No,
okay.
no, I said the whole thing about how we don't even use weapons because we like. Never mind.
Forget it. Sure, it's up to you. Play your character how you like.
Yeah, I think.
Listen, have you had breakfast? Let's go and source ourselves some breakfast of some sort.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I have nothing to pay for breakfast with, and I don't think you have much on you either. So we may have to, take it using our own wits.
I don't have much on me, do I, Liam?
No, you don't. Although you are looking at Jirab with a lot of very fine articles of clothing on him. Some personal effects, so on. Like, I mean, the lie is obvious because he's wearing the facts.
No, bullshit. Sorry, I am a slave. Like, I've been dressed
slave.
in.
You keep insisting you're a slave, but that's entirely Jirab's interpretation.
I am owned by.
Are you like a slave at best in like sort of a Roman sense, where they would have very, very skilled and well-educated, valuable persons who were just indentured servants who had no personal freedom?
I'm
Like,
more of a like long-term ward. Yeah, I admittedly I concede. Yes, you are. Yeah, I'm more of like a long-term ward, stroke hostage thing. Like, what's his name in Game of Thrones?
Eon.
But
like,
still,
you have no like personal autonomy and probably no money. But like,
I have no money. I don't think. Well, there isn't really any money, is there? It's just water.
Also, you have enough water to you have enough water probably to trade for a few small things like food or so on.
I don't want to waste it on food.
Well, there you go then.
I'm going to set off to try and steal some breakfast. Like, see if I can swipe a croissant from like a street vendor or whatever they eat.
Okay.
Yeah, Corellia wants a croissant too. She's going.
Okay, sure. And Barnelect is going his own way to.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're not trying to. Okay. Sure.
Not trying to what? They're trying to what?
Well, yeah, no. It's fine. Right. Should we do Barnelect going off first, given that?
No, because Barney's talking to his mum.
Sorry. Okay. Sam, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. So should we do Barnelect first, given that you had a clearer idea of what it was you were doing first off? So where are you heading off to?
I'm going off to see
it's not working well now. I just kicked the wire out of it. Is it good?
What? No, you sound fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can I go and see? 2 seconds. I'm trying to remember his name. I want to go and see Hector, please.
Okay. Cool. Sure.
Moonspear.
I didn't say his last name.
You twist and turn through the alleyways of the city. You know your way around here fairly well at this point. You only get kind of heading in the wrong direction a few times, and you quickly pick up. Eventually, you come to the rear end of some stables here, and rear end is the very much the right word. There is a heavy smell in the air, and you perhaps, after asking around, talking with a few people you might know, casually, you might see Hector, aging bones, trying to kind of hold a urn on his person full of water to feed the animals. But seeing you, he will kind of go, "Hey, Barney, how are you?" And put down the you recognise a slightly similar accent to yours, from the merchant trade routes. Hey, how are you doing, Barney?
That's exactly how I want Hector Moonspear to speak. Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. You want to help with some of these animals, or are you busy?
Yeah. Do I? And they do.
Okay, sure. As you begin to groom these large animals, these kind of auroch-like shaggy creatures, just giving them a kind of wash down, you can see kind of salt mats the fur of these things. You think they may have come from Z to the east. What are you talking about with Hector?
Hector, I've been put on a quest.
A quest? That sounds dramatic.
Yeah, I know. I've got to leave. I've got to leave tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Okay. Sure. Is there anything I can do to help?
I have a question. What sort of animals does he look after, and can I take one to ride?
So I mean, he's just a local farmer and animal handler. He isn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't
own
own animals. He cares for
Yeah.
other people's animals. So it
Okay.
would be an act of theft to take the animals.
Okay.
And not
Then no, I
and
won't
get
be.
Hector
I
in
won't
trouble.
be asked to do that. No, I mostly just came to say goodbye and to thank you for being such a lovely friend.
Oh, that's very nice. I've enjoyed your company. You're a very talented animal handler.
Can you please
Barney.
make this drift more in the direction which it's going, which I know is Jordan Peterson?
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Listen, have you? I'm always telling you the 12 rules for life. I hope you've been adhering to them. No, I don't want to do. I don't want to do Peterson. I was thinking more Bert or Ernie, but I can never remember which one is which.
Yeah. Very good.
Anyway, to get back on track. Well, you're a very talented animal handler, and you've got a real future in this. If you want to stick at it, there. I mean, if your quest sounds very dramatic, but if you ever want to acquire life, you're always free to come here and work for me. I mean, these old bones could use the help, for sure.
Thank you. You've got your son.
Yeah.
You've got Fence.
Yeah, I have Fence, but I don't know. I think that kid wants to do something else with his life. Maybe.
Yeah.
He kind of
Potentially.
looks to you and kind of, maybe with a hint of kind of, I don't know, maybe gives off the sense that he thinks he might have kind of gone astray somewhere.
No. No, it was mostly really just to say thank you very much and goodbye, and I'll come back and see ya.
Okay, well that's really great. Yeah, I mean, sure you're always free to come by.
Yeah.
Listen, and he will reach into his vest. He goes, how long are you gone for?
Do I remember? Did he say?
No. Ilek is like really bad at telling details unless you remind him. So he didn't really bother to tell you much.
He hasn't really told. I really agreed to this without getting any of the details, which in hindsight is a terrible thing, really. But yeah, I don't know how long I'll be gone, if I'm honest.
Oh, okay. Well, I want you to take care of yourself. So, and he'll give you 3 coins of bronze. These kind of crudely minted things made here in Behel. I mean, this isn't much. This is enough for maybe half a day's water. But it's still something. You can see on one side it has the language of the city saying Behel and the kind of crude iconography of a tower, and on the other side it has the bleeding, arms outstretched, hermaphroditic form of Nusku. Those are the coins he hands you. Take care of yourself out there, kid.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Do we hug?
Yeah, I mean, maybe he goes in to shake your hand, but if you lean in to hug him, he'll probably reciprocate.
Yeah.
He goes to shake your hand, but then leaves. Oh, okay, come in here, come on. This guy, don't squeeze too tight. These old bones are gonna start creaking.
Always wanted to hug a Muppet. It's like one of my dreams.
I know.
Yeah, he walks like this as he goes around. Sure.
Thank you, Liam.
Okay. I will say on your way out, now that Harry's, incepted me with the Jordan B. Peterson idea, you will perhaps see Fence round the corner as you leave this place. And he goes, "Hey, Buster, are you hanging around my dad again?"
Oh, yeah, man. I was just saying goodbye. I was just saying goodbye.
Listen, he doesn't need to be messed around by people without failed symbols of masculinity, such as yourself. Your voice is just not, you don't exude dominance, and I don't think that's a healthy influence on an old man who's got more of a job than you have. He's kind of almost going to point you going to prod you in the chest, but kind of like waves his hand around instead.
Hey, man, someone ought to teach you some manners.
Well, manners. I mean, I'm not. Well, I've got manners. You haven't got manners.
God damn it! I just storm off. I storm off and leave him. Let him go. I'm letting Fence go.
I'm going to have to study Jordan B. Peterson now in order to know how to make better Jordan B. Peterson jokes when this character inevitably comes back as the primary villain. Sure. Oh, it's the NHS thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay,
give me.
Shall we say?
Give me 2 seconds. I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'm very sorry.
About it. Okay, so you are parting ways. Barnalex parting ways from Hector. Carillia and Zurab are going into the city to try to rob things. Should we briefly have a kind of 5-10 minute break here? Because I really need to get some water. Is that all right with everyone? Cool. All right. We'll be back in 10 minutes, everyone. Hope you stick around.
Bye-bye.
we getting back to it now? Okay, cool. I think we're back in. Brilliant. So we go now to Jurab and Karelia, walking through the streets, perhaps the bazaar here. You're going past, stalls selling spice and dried fruit and vegetables, and you see bark of trees and medicinal root, cloth, other fabrics, even arms, weapons are sold here, and strange curios and art objects, sculptures and vases and the like from lands you've perhaps never even heard of. I mean, maybe Harry, given your circumstances, you'll have gained a kind of a sense for these kind of, you understand that there are these regions beyond where one is situated, far, far off, that have very different aesthetic styles and approaches to wares and so on. But yeah, you're walking through this place. You will at points walk past places that are cooking, flatbreads in heated urns and noodles in shallow bowls of water and so on. What are you going to try to do in terms of stealing food?
I'm looking for like a small self-contained croissant stroke dumplings type situation.
I will say there's dumplings. Croissants I don't think we've quite got. I don't think the baking,
let's get ourselves a dumpling. One dumpling each.
Yet.
I think the entire time I've been like chattering incessantly to Jurab, just nonsense, just look, there's a person, like, oh, that's a stool.
Yeah,
just...
I'm gonna have been responding like, oh, you're very interesting, from like every 10 minutes, but like clearly he's just like waiting for a pause in the conversation, saying that, and then allowing you to continue with the prattling.
She doesn't notice at all.
Sure.
Good.
So when you spy a place selling this, selling some dumplings, what is it? What is your approach?
Listen, you're going to go over there and make a noise. Say maybe somebody has stolen something from you. You're going to go over there, shout really loudly, get someone's attention, and I swipe her some tasty dumplings.
To set the scene, okay, so I would say that there's someone who is cooking, who's boiling dumplings in a kind of shallow pan of bronze. I don't think that would last very long, but and then there's kind of people who are sitting around who, these things are kind of fairly skillfully kind of flipped onto a wooden spatula and then slid onto these kind of wooden blocks that they then eat with, effectively chopsticks. Simple tools for picking up and eating these, dumplings or other kind of discrete objects. And kind of people come to, sit at this place, and you can see hand a few coins or trade a ware, egg, cloth, spice, or whatever to this person making them. And behind them, their partner chops away and makes more of these things. So, how is it you approach this then?
Sneakily.
Sure. But I mean, like, you've got to tell me your game plan here for approaching this.
My plan is that Karelia is going to go and make a noise, and when she does, I swipe the dumplings.
Okay, sure. So, Shannon, assuming Karelia follows through this, you're approaching this place. What is it you do?
Okay. Karelia's never acted or before in her life. She doesn't really understand lying. She understands it. She's never done it. But so she's gonna go over like really like. Oh, I'm just a person walking down the street.
Sure. Okay, this small jungle person approaches, swinging her arms around, and you walk up. What do you do or say?
Well, I would love to buy a dumpling. But oh my gosh, my coin purse. And I just flail my arms.
All your arms.
Flail them. I flail them.
Is this enough of a distraction?
Okay, give me, Shannon, a performance check. Do you want me to roll for you?
No, I want to roll. I love to roll. I got a blank screen. No, I got a natural one, baby. No.
Okay, I will say you come up.
Wait, can I use my inspiration?
Yes, you can. You absolutely can.
Thank you, Shannon.
Use your inspiration for this to steal a dumpling.
Okay, yes, you told me to use it more. Yeah. Okay. Yes! 22.
18. Okay. What's your performance? 22. Okay. Cool. You begin to shout and yell. The person serving the dumplings kind of looks back to their cook behind them goes, purse? What? Is kind of immediately flustered by you kind of shouting, my purse is missing. What is Jurab trying to do in the meantime?
This is the point that I go in to swipe the dumpling. I'm not saying that. I just swipe the dumpling.
Narrate everything.
Yeah, Jurab sneakily moved up to the dumpling.
I will say that Carillia is giving you the help action so you can make a sleight of hand on advantage.
Oh, I already rolled once. I got 23.
Oh, well, you can roll again if you want to get it possibly even better.
The crit.
I want to say my arms are kind of like.
I got 23 again.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you can kind of come up while everyone is looking the other way. You can quickly duck down and kind of slide a few dumplings off of one of these wooden blocks into your hand and walk off in kind of one summary motion.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, you get down and you've got 4 hot dumplings in your hand as you quickly walk off into the marketplace. What is Carillia doing? The person that still goes, I cannot help you with your purse. I apologies. Please, everyone, have a look around if you see a purse. And then the person goes, hey, who's eating my dumplings?
Is it Fence?
It's Fence. Yeah, this character you don't know goes, someone has stolen. Oh, my day is ruined. And kind of whacks the wooden block with the one remaining dumpling off it and storms off into the market.
It's all connected.
Okay.
That's going to be the linchpin of the plot, really.
Fence is the real antagonist.
Yeah. Well, he will be now.
Yeah, he's the faceless, spy master who blends in and out of all of your lives. Sure. Okay. What does Carillia do? Do you maintain this, fit of trying to find your?
Okay, I think spurred on by his success, I'm gonna look at the dumpling seller with like such sadness in my eyes and being like, "This is my first day in the city." That's not how my accent goes, but she said it anyway.
You have my sincerest apologies. If you have anything else to trade, it is not just coin that we take for food, of course.
So this young girl comes up to him, a coin purse is stolen, it's her first day in the city, and he's like, I'll take your fucking knife, I don't care.
Well, he's like, okay, a coin purse, fine. Like, it's a market. People get their stuff stolen all the time. What do you want him to do? He sells dumplings.
I think I wipe away a crocodile here.
Yeah, and then you put on shades.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. And what? You just go back into the market. Sure. Yeah. You meet up with Jurab. Your hands are getting increasingly kind of damp and hot as dumpling juice is kind of getting squeezed onto them.
You see the sweet reward of crime. Now you have 2 dumplings before you had no dumplings.
Harry, can I ask, did you just raise your hands gripped when you said that?
What?
Did you raise your hands gripped when you said the sweet reward?
No, I was holding one hand like this.
Okay. You don't see Jerome go the sweet reward and squish all the dumplings in front of you. The sweet reward.
No. And I hand over the 2 dumplings and I just eat both of mine in like one movement.
Okay, you get handed 2 small dumplings and assumedly eat them. They're fairly nice.
Wait, no, I think to condone for my crimes, I'm going to eat 1 dumpling, and then do I look around and see an unfortunate orphan anywhere?
No, I mean, you look around to see an orphan who actually has just been adopted by very loving and wealthy parents.
You see many
fortunate orphans. You see turn around and goes, kids, you're all adopted, and we've got a mansion in the country. And they go, yeah! And we're going to Disneyland first,
any
too.
Unfortunate child that has parents?
Yeah, okay, fine. You look around to see a kid going, but I want a dumpling! And then, the mother going, you already had a dumpling.
I want to give him a dumpling.
Okay.
No, it's okay, I give it to him benevolently.
Okay, he kind of sniffles and kind of looks at you with kind of big watery eyes and just kind of eats it. The mother kind of exasperated looks at you with tired eyes and goes, thank you.
Good deed.
Yeah.
Sure. You redeem yourself. Your morality points slide just about back to neutral.
So did you enjoy that? That was fantastic, right? I thought you did a fantastic job on your the performance of my purse is lost and so on and so forth.
Why are we doing so many Muppet movements at the minute?
We're in such a confined space in terms of the camera.
Yeah,
very animated.
Yeah, it's true. So I was thinking now. I know it's brilliant, isn't it? I was thinking now we move on and we go and get some of those medicinal roots that Liam mentioned earlier.
I like medicine.
Yes, me too, and could come in useful, and maybe you chew on them and you go to sleep more easily or something like that.
Do you have trouble sleeping?
No, but sometimes,
The
it
things
helps to
people
go and sleep in the... Oh, fucking hell.
So they the fucking roots, mate.
Sure. I just
No,
want to
Gerard
ask...
probably has like some sort of awful drug addiction to chewing ginger or something like that.
You're addicted to chewing. For the sake of expediency, how many things are you planning to steal here?
Well, I've got to induct her into a life of crime.
Sure. I just don't want to do like
slow.
Scene after scene of you stealing a new thing that you heard previously, like because we can roll it all into one.
By the end of the day, the aim is to be like stabbing guards and taking their purses and so on and so forth. No, I jest, of course. Of course, he wouldn't do that. By the end of the day, I want to steal like this route and then maybe one more thing.
Okay.
Like a trinket of some sort.
Tell me what it is. Give me a list of things you want to steal. I'm going to make a DC in my head, and then you can make a sleight of hand on advantage with Corellia helping. And then we'll see.
All right.
Render
medicinal roots.
Sure.
And a trinket. Some sort, like, I don't know, a little statuette or some little shit that I can just have.
Sure. Give me a sleight of hand check on advantage.
Give me a second. Oh, I should really roll 2 at once, shouldn't I? It takes fucking forever.
That's a 2, I suppose. Well,
lucky it's on advantage, isn't it?
That's a 6.
That's a 12.
Okay, that's a 12. I'm going to say that...
We're both in jail.
No. Actually, 2. I'm going to roll some dice here. Okay.
Inspiration, maybe on
Okay. I'm going to say that, Harry, you're going to take 14 points of bludgeoning damage as you go to grab some medicinal root. Someone goes, "Hey!" and grabs and twists your wrist and and then shouts out, "I saw this fucking guy steal a dumpling earlier." And then pretty much immediately, a bunch of merchants come and just like wail on your shins with their feet. And then you kind of hobble out of the market a bit later to see Corellia standing there, completely unnoticed by these merchants. But yeah, you don't manage to get the things you wanted, but you get some bruises.
A good day's work.
Yeah.
So I don't know how about you guys, but 14 damage would half kill Ailey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean, Zurab looks beaten up.
It's a third of my HP.
Yeah, I mean, you just watched 5 people just like beat him up in the middle of the market.
Wow.
And no bones broken, except for maybe this one. And I said, like,
you raise your hand and the finger
sticking
goes
out
like
the
is
skin.
like completely 180 degrees or something. Sure.
We like to have fun.
Is
here.
Barnalex? I'm going to say that's the end of your word spreads. For now, at least, your thievery is curtailed. Does Barnalex get up to anything else?
Yeah, I'm gonna go say goodbye to another dear friend of mine.
all
We
your
haven't even
friends.
established a name for, but we'll
Tell me the name, Sam.
Miriam.
Miriam. Okay.
So I walk up. What are the What's the housing situation like here in Behel?
Behel, as I told you, is these kind of geometric buildings, but they come together in a very non-uniform way. Like they have avoided building a grid here that creates these angles to the passageways through the city that disrupts wind. So it keeps the city fairly cool as long as you're, not on the roofs of any places.
So Miriam is a dromad like me. She is, but she's very old, and she's come to Behel. This is where she travelled here, and this is where she was like, yes, I'm going to make my home here.
Okay,
and
sure.
And I bumped into Miriam a few when I first arrived here, and I've been close friends with her ever since.
Sure. Okay. So you come, you make your way through your market. At some point, you walk past some place. You see some guys beating up someone. Must have caught another thief. You think at some point you hear Fence shouting about dumplings or something? Be like, no, that doesn't make sense.
I've just seen Fence.
Eventually, you come to this small enclosed tent, barely lit inside by a few kind of grey and candles that have kind of spilt wax over table and chest edges. A certain mystique to this place, and a smell of kind of spice and precious wares, and perhaps a hint of the occult comes from here. And you enter to Miriam. You said she's called Miriam's tent.
Miriam, yes. Hello, Miriam.
She kind of sits there. You think kind of maybe half asleep, or you see a kind of a dust, a spray of kind of reddish dust comes from her nostrils, and goes, Barnelect. How are you, my boy? It seems like you were just here minutes ago.
No, I was here 2 days ago, Miriam. I've come here because I have some news. Yes, I have been sent on a quest.
A quest? That is interesting.
Yes. That is just what? Sorry.
That is interesting.
Oh yes, interesting. Yeah, and I actually wanted your advice because I know that you're very wise, and you've always told me to go with my heart and not my head. But my head has been having a few questions recently because it appears that everybody's been essentially furloughed. I know that word doesn't exist in this universe, but
I come from a long-standing mercantile culture, so I understand many complex economic terms.
Excellent. I know we're on the same wavelength. But it's only me and Lox that have been given this quest, and everybody else seems to have been put in this group. And I don't know whether or not I should find out more about this, or whether or not I shouldn't question it and just go on this quest, or what. I'm confused.
Are you curious?
Yes.
She kind of thinks for a moment and goes, the only thing you can trust in this world is your heart.
Oh.
The brain, the mind, consciousness is a trick. Follow what you desire, Barnelect. That's the only thing you can take trust in.
Oh, thank you, Miriam. You're very wise.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, and I just wanted to come as well. Thank you for that advice. I also just wanted to come and say thank you for everything you've done for me since I've arrived. I really appreciate it.
Hush now, I haven't done much for you. I've just listened to your words and given you the advice of a strange old woman.
I wouldn't say strange. But yes, but that has meant more to me than anything anyone's done for me here, so thank you.
She kind of chuckles softly to herself. He goes, I think the best advice I could give you would be to not take my words too seriously.
Oh no, that goes against everything that I was just going to do. Okay.
I enjoy your company, but I wouldn't, put more faith in yourself, Barnelect.
You know what? I will. I just do a big sniff.
You breathe it in. You get a strange kind of feeling of deja vu as it kind of goes through your sinuses and melts into your senses. But then that goes fairly quickly. Do you wish to buy anything? I haven't sold anything all day.
What have you got to sell?
Oh, the same collection of oddities from corners of the earth.
What can I get for 3 bronze pieces?
She gives. Eventually produces this. You see with these kind of crooked and gnarled fingers, this sliver of bark. This comes from a very far land. They say cultivated in a forest that has remained untouched by change for thousands of years. And if you put it in food, it tastes rather nice.
Are you scamming me here, or shall I haggle you to 2 bronze pieces?
I'm not go a coin short of this. Is 3 copper coins, which is nothing, by the way. I mean, this is. Come on.
I know. Okay, I'll have it to remember you by.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, you can add a piece of cinnamon to your inventory.
Oh, very nice. Thank you. That will come in handy.
Yeah, that's the missing piece. That is Fence's one weakness.
We get to the final climax of the boss battle, and I'm gonna whip out some
He's
cinnamon.
definitely allergic to cinnamon. Okay. I would say now. Do you plan to see anyone else? Does Barnlake plan to see anyone else? Or...
No. I'm done. Cool. I've said my farewells.
Okay, so I will say. You lot have been going around. It's come to about midday when Ailey and Lola, after a few more cups of tea, hear the sound of many assembled footsteps approaching outside. There's a brief moment. You can kind of catch the faint hints of kind of quiet conversation. You know, just the impression of it. You don't hear any particular words. Before you hear a voice, kind of authoritative, shout out, if the 2 people inside of the quarantine house could please approach the windows or the doors. Thank you.
That was brilliant.
Lola kind of looks
Ellie
to you
packs
like...
up her stuff in her little pouch, and she's ready.
If you could please approach the door in single file. You understand what that is, yeah? Okay. Good. Now, whoever is in the front, yes, stand there. Good. Assuming you are standing by the door.
Fucking kill us or what?
Lola kind of looks at you like,
honest.
raise her eyes like, okay, and person in front of the door, can you please step to the side? And the person behind step forward. Lola kind of looks to you, uncertain, but steps close to the door. Yeah, good. Okay. That's brilliant. Okay, yes, you're you're not sick. It's good news. So we will be letting you go. If you could, sir, please open the door. And you do hear the bar removed from the door.
So we've been standing on the other side of a closed door.
Do you think this person is standing maybe kind of 5 meters away? You judging from where you can hear their voice. The door grinds
Ailey
open.
is suspecting some sort of device then that has been scanning us.
Indeed, if you're keeping an eye out for this, you do see a person holding what appears to be just a kind of oblong of I guess would you? Yeah, you've probably seen glass a few times. A yellow glass pane, oblong held.
We do have many holy relics at Dwerinish.
Sorry.
We do have many holy relics at Dwerinish.
Sure. So what you see is a retinue of 8 guards, similar attire. Though you do notice slightly different symbology. There's 2 different sets of symbology, dividing these guards into 2 groups of 4. But by and large, consistent uniform. And in their midst, you see 2 people who are clearly of more significance. The one holding this slab. It's a rather strange humanoid, very rotund in the torso, with kind of wide shoulders, and you see this person has a very wide head and almost no neck, with a very kind of thin top, giving them almost a kind of conical impression at the top. They're male. You see they've got hazel skin, and they wear on their body this kind of rather well-fashioned toga of this purple so deep it's almost black, and over the eyes this veil of beads on string that do cover their eyes, that you think they could see out of it. And perhaps looking at them, if you're scrutinizing them, you catch a faint impression of kind of it's almost too overshadowed under the veil, but you can't quite make out what's going on there. There's this person you do see on them. They have around the neck, around the waist, they do have attached these small objects of this very neat, simplistic geometry that you think speaks to the Eater relics of a wizard. By their side is a tall, thin woman, similar skin color but grey hair taken back. You see that both of her nostrils and both of her earlobes are pierced with gold rings, and a chain is suspended between both that hangs these very small, very well-made little golden swords across her face. And similarly, a brooch fastens her toga of a kind of rich crimson with another sword, and further accentuating this very ostentatious, very wealthy appearance, she does have several gold and silver rings on her fingers. This is what you see before you. The kind of round fellow speaks first and goes, "Hello, I am Jib. I'm known as the Alchemist. I was sent here at Ilek's behest to verify that you are not sick, which I have done so you are now free to leave."
Thank you.
Thank you. As you come out and Lola comes out behind you, the woman speaks up and goes directly to Lola, and I'm going to have to roleplay a bit with myself here. "Hello, are you the remaining grass eater?" She's very tall, this woman, I should say. She's almost kind of getting to kind of 6.5 feet. Lola kind of looks to you and goes, "Yes." And the woman goes, "I must extend my deepest apologies to you. I hear news that my son has been causing you some bother. I'm here to give you the utmost assurance that the family Zeta will not be trifling with you whatsoever in the future. I have made absolutely certain of it. You have my deepest, sincerest apologies. I came here in person myself to convey this news. I hope you can appreciate the depth of my sorrow that things would that what has happened has happened." And Lola kind of looks to you and goes, "Thank you."
Can I make an insight check, please?
You absolutely can, yes.
I'd like to tell if she's doing this because she has genuine moral issues with her son's behavior, or if someone has twisted her arm and this is like a compelled act of contrition.
Give me an insight check.
Okay. You will have to roll for me because I'm having a little bit of issue with the.
Sure. Okay. Oh, you rolled an 18 plus your mod.
Oh, lovely. It's 25.
Ooh. 25. Okay, you look at this woman. You get the very strong sense that she's not having her arm twisted, and she's not sincere either. You think it is more the case that this person is being performative. She's made agreements and believes that you have to, whether or not you feel it in your heart, you have to perform the motions of an apology.
Is this like because of social pressure, like it is the done thing to apologize, or because she wants to perform to my companion to gain an impression or to get something from her?
You think it's more the latter. It's more about looking good in front of others. So she's you think she's sincere in that, you know, the implied actions behind this apology, those are sincere, but the emotions are not there. This is all, she doesn't care, basically. She doesn't care about feeling bad. She just she just wants to make sure that everyone can see that she has apologized in a very kind of open, very humbling way, perhaps, for her at least.
How close am I to Lola?
Oh, you're next to her.
Can I say quietly to her, don't trust the sailors?
Sure. Lola will kind of, under her breath, go, I have met her son. I do not trust this woman. So the person who introduced himself, the rotund man, Djib, will say, so I am to understand that you are, indicating to Lola, you are the witch that Ilek has arranged a private quarters for. We are happy to escort you into the tower. You, on the other hand, indicating to you, Ailey, you are free to go. But I would like to have a short conversation with you, is possible.
I can permit that.
Would you like some privacy? My men can stand aside if you wish. Just you and me talking.
Yes.
Okay.
We can speak.
So I would say, getting you go to the side enough that if you speak under your breath, no one else can hear. Getting close to this person, you do catch a glimpse under this veil, and you can see their eyes are of a perfect matte black. You catch them at the side, and you see the roundness of them. There is an object there, but if you were to look dead on, it would just be like looking into a hole in either eye. It does create a certain kind of jarring effect, not having any pupils to kind of connect to, and also just having essentially these two holes in what looks like two holes in this person's face. Hence, you think perhaps the veil.
Can I say, where did you get such a blessing?
This you are referring to my eyes. This is a gift of my many years of study in the alchemical pools underneath the tower. The discoloration of the eyes or the teeth, sometimes the skin, is considered as a mark of a master. And he says this with a certain kind of intonation of pride, of as if like someone showing off a medal, and then telling you what it was for. Anyway,
I think Ailey has seen this amongst powerful priests.
He is going to just quickly
minor
roll.
mutations are signs of long veterancy in the craft. Is that reasonable?
Sure, he goes, yeah. I mean, you don't. Do you say that, or are you thinking that? Sorry.
No, I'm talking about like Ailey is familiar with this kind of concept.
Sure. He kind of looks over your person, doesn't kind of notice anything particularly outstanding.
I have the staff, but he doesn't care.
So far as you can tell, he looks over that and doesn't seem to check it as anything other than just a religious icon. I have a question for you. What is Ilek up to? It's my understanding that he possibly came to these chambers last night. What for?
He wanted to know. He wanted to ask me questions, and he wanted to ask her questions.
He looks back to Lola. What purpose is the witch? Do you know? You were listening. Can you tell me?
I will say he wanted to know if he will die.
Did he say anything else? What is the meaning of this?
I'm not a witch.
Seems slightly perturbed by your answer.
And I say, I told her to tell him what she thought he wanted to hear, which is a truth.
Okay.
Which is a truth is out of character.
And she told him what, he would live, or?
She told him he would die, which is not what I would have recommended, given my previous advice.
He kind of...
But I am not a witch.
Mulls this over for a second. And what are you doing? Has he made any offers to you? What are you doing after this?
He needs, I believe, the services of a holy woman. Perhaps he is preparing his own funeral. For now, I have nothing to serve him in. I await his pleasure.
He kind
Today I will seek new boots.
Sorry?
Today I will seek new boots.
And this morning I hear that he comes with a woman to this house. What is the purpose of this? This woman?
He wanted to confirm my health.
And this woman helped?
I believe she did.
A visit?
She's a healer I travelled here with.
A visit or something else?
A medic. I don't think she traffics in artifacts.
Possibly psychically gifted then. I see. I have an interest in the activities of Ilek, and I could pay you very handsomely in favor or coin if you were to keep an eye on his behaviors. If
I understand.
That is the carrot, perhaps you are a holy person, you understand the stick of Ilek is a person convinced of a dangerous agenda and could do great harm to this city if allowed to go unchecked. And I hope that you even if you are not of this place, you could appreciate the people here should be protected under the eyes of Nasku and the other gods.
Do you fear him?
I think that even a child reckless enough can do a lot of damage. I do not fear him. I think he is foolish.
I understand.
And you will do this for me?
I have my own stick.
But will you do this for me?
We shall see. For now, I need new boots.
I can get you more than boots if you wish, but...
Perhaps a travelling cloak. I need only the water to drink each day.
If you wish, after he has had you do something, you simply ask for the alchemist and then we can talk and I can reward you well. If a monk has no need for money, I can give you other things. Sorry?
I may come and ask you for something.
He seems...
If I need your gifts, your favours, I may bring you something you desire.
He seems... You can sense that there's a certain amount of frustration for him that he... You think he can't make any... He's deliberately reining in kind of being aggressive. You get that sense of a kind of restrained anger. Or not a restrained anger, a restrained aggression.
Mm-hmm.
Very well, okay. Very well. And he kind of doesn't bother to regard you and kind of looks down as he walks away. And you kind of catch, like, so you're a witch. Please tell me what this is like. As Lola kind of looks back, slightly worried to you, and you can kind of see gives a nod, but kind of a stay safe look to her as she parts with these people.
And I'm left.
You're left alone in a quiet courtyard with Copper Coin and his friends kind of regarding you because they've got nothing else to do.
So I give a very short bow to Lola as she leaves.
Sure.
And I have no money, but I'm going to go and.
I believe you have art objects that you could possibly trade.
I do. I added an extra feature to that. I said that they are art objects brackets the Pantheon of Dwyer Inish.
Good.
So I thought perhaps they might have some value to be traded in another city.
Absolutely. Just in terms of trading of wares, you can definitely trade like one of these for functional boots and a cape or something. Actually, no. I would say you can trade one of these for boots or a cape, and you've got 3, so you can trade 2 for boots and a cape if you wish. But I mean, it's fairly hot, so.
My imagination is that having travelled alone for some weeks, Ailey has realised that sleeping on the ground with no bedding is
oh sure, a bedroll or something you can get.
Indeed, but like she wants a cloak that is good at night and that you can roll up in or roll under a hedge with and sleep in.
Okay.
Whenever we say boots, all I can think of is the Dora the Explorer character.
Okay, cool. So you trade the things. Does anyone have anything else they want to do in Behel before they rest of the day? You need to find somewhere to stay unless you're planning to stay at Fabat's again, which you can possibly do.
Has Illic asked me to do anything except fuck off for a bit?
He's asked you. He's made the strong suggestion, and you think it might have had something to do with the fact that you had your rod, which he definitely did clock, to travel eastward for a time with his assistant Nuch.
Okay.
And you'll be meeting Nuch at the East Gate in the morning of tomorrow.
So I know where to find him.
Yeah.
I have no.
Is backup with Locks in the gang, or just the gang?
Sorry,
or
Barney.
Have I?
Well, you didn't set somewhere to meet back up with, but I will say that you can eventually find each other. And does Ailey just kind of go around, kind of taking the city a bit? Okay, I will say, Sam, if you wish, you can burn one of your 18s on the Golden Path if you want to slightly bend fate to have Ailey meet up with you earlier, if you wish.
Yes, let's do it. Let's get the gang together.
Okay, I will say, Barney, as you are returning from the market, having spoken to, is it Mariam or Miriam? Sorry.
Miriam.
Miriam. You kind of walk past and then do a double take as you look at this monk and you recall them from the previous night from this strange magical projection within Ilec's quarters. You recognise this person and you can kind of, I say Ailey, you notice this dromad looking at you as you hand over this wooden carved object to a trader, who holds the god you're handing them true, and gives you some, not particularly well made, but definitely sturdy boots in exchange. And you kind of both lock eyes for a moment.
Barney.
Oh, hello, it's you. I tried to help you get out of the door today, but you decided against it.
You were very charming.
Yeah. What are you up to?
I'm meeting Nook tomorrow.
That is.
He serves your master?
That is crazy. I am also meeting Nook tomorrow. Yes, he does. He serves him. Yeah. Do you have a place to stay tonight?
I do not.
Well, neither do I. But I think I could.
In adversity, then.
I have potential places to stay if you would like to join me and 3 of my other friends.
Indeed. Are they companions for our shared task?
I believe so, yes.
Well then, let us find them.
Let's.
So I'll allow you to say that Karelia and Jirab and Barnlect have arranged some place to meet up.
Thank
late
you
midday
for
or something.
Overseeing our insolence.
You
Can
come
we
together
have-
in this market. Karelia, you see that Ailey appears to have joined Barnlect.
Karelia,
Karelia!
are you traveling with us?
I'm a bit cold towards Ailey. I'm a bit upset that she burned my help.
Your help?
Are you traveling with us, Karelia?
I almost did Herbavis's voice there. The minute I tapped mean, I was gonna go. Okay, wait, let me get the voice back. It's gone. I'm just gonna speak like Shannon. Okay. Well, I think you're traveling with us, actually.
Ooh.
I'm pleased.
Jirab is also there, by the way. But
Hi, Jura.
Hello, Jirab.
Karelia.
Harry.
To-
Sorry, didn't realise that Jorab was there too.
Yes,
Just
he is, I
hiding
did
in the
say.
background.
he can hide in the foreground if you want, Harry. But
No, it's just it was introduced with like and Karelia. Oh, Jorab as well.
I'm a big fan of the understatement.
Yeah,
Well, I do say
Jorab
to
acts understatedly.
I do want to say to Karelia, I look forward to paying my debt to you.
I'm instantly won over. She's got me back.
Has anybody seen Lux today?
Who?
well, I was going to come in a little later, but it seems like a good as time. Eventually, you do see, after perhaps a few minutes of chatting, you do see the head and shoulders above the crowd, Locks, moving through the market, and she does see you around the same time that you see her. She goes, Barney.
My neck my neck
Your neck
extends.
extends to 2 feet long.
Yeah.
How tall is she? Are we talking like 7 foot?
Yeah, she's about 7.5 feet tall. I mean, she's like a giant.
Wow. Hello.
I found you by smell.
Ooh.
You see that she has she's changed and she's got kind of a new set of equipment with her. She's wearing very kind of fairly kind of Spartan tunic, just practical, no sleeves to this thing. Kind of fairly loose trousers that kind of just come just to below the knee. Something that she can move very freely in.
You were very clever because you've actually prepared for the trip.
Yes, you can see that a camel skin bladder hangs on a belt, as well as a few amenities. A simple bronze knife, and you do see that slung over his shoulder, held by a few leather straps. So he kind of just has almost like a bag over the shoulder. Is this giant weapon? Too big to be a sword. It is massive and thick and heavy, and it is far too rough. It is. You can see this thing is only held in kind of leather slings, essentially, and you can see that it is kind of chipped and slightly crooked and bent as it goes up, and it's made of this. It's just this heap of kind of this strange dark metal you don't recognize. But she carries this thing, this kind of almost like giant's club of metal over her shoulder.
Is it new? I haven't seen this before.
I'm gonna roll to see if you've seen this before. I think she showed you this a few times. This is the meteor sword. This is a sword that was made from a falling star that she killed another person a while back to get.
She's so cool, man.
I have not left the city in some time, and I didn't want to leave this here. She takes a drink. How is everyone doing? And she looks over to Ailey and says, "You are new. Hello. I saw you before."
Yes. You are distinctive.
She kind of nods, she accepts it. "My name is Lox. What is yours?"
My name is Ailey. I come from Dwyer Inish.
Dwyer Inish. I have not heard of this place.
It's far to the east. I crossed the Silent Steppe. Is that correct? Have I
Yes,
just
it is,
made
yeah.
that up?
That is a long way to travel from Cologne. That is impressive.
I was not alone. Do I recognise this sword?
Actually, sorry, I just want to say,
any kind of...
Lox will say in response to it, she kind of shrugs to, as if to indicate the sword, because I don't travel alone either. Anyway, what are you asking?
Very good.
I was going to say, actually, do I recognise the sword as being anything that my religious knowledge or...
Give me an Arcana check.
I'd love that. Not a religion check?
I mean, you can give me a religion check if you think it has any kind of ritualistic or religious significance, but if you want to try to tell if it is, associated with the Eaters or magic, then that would be Arcana.
Okay. Well, could you roll for me then?
Yep. Oh, cock dice. No, you don't. You've only got a +2 to Arcana, right? Yeah, looking at this, you don't think this has any association. It is crude and battered and chipped, and as you've experienced them personally, Eater objects are, like in Lord of the Rings, like mithril and adamantine and these fancy metals. They do not erode with time. They stay perfect forever, so far as you understand them. So yeah, so you look at this, you don't think so. You think this is just a sword, this kind of battered piece of metal made into a kind of a sword shape that is kind of, of some metal you don't know, but not a magical metal.
I think Aelia is still cautious, and she says, she's cautious and respectful of this kind of thing, and she says, does it have a name? A story?
Only the story I've heard. I will tell you it later.
I would be pleased.
She kind of looks around and goes, although I do not think anyone here could steal it. It is quite heavy. And if
I think Rob could steal it.
If you're all standing around, she will kind of let it off her shoulder a bit, and it does slightly pierce into the ground as she kind of rests an arm over it, almost like another friend or something. She definitely has a certain amount of comfort and familiarity with this thing. Right, what are you all doing? You can at this point just say, you relax. I mean, you can go to Fabats again. If you need rest for the night.
Can I actually have bought something in the market?
Absolutely. What do you want to buy? I mean, what are you trading as well?
Because like I said, that water and everything would be supplied on the journey, right? Which means I don't have to be stingy with my supply.
Sure.
I'm trusting. So, could I buy whatever this world's equivalent of, like, I came to Hell and all I got was this stupid badge kind of thing?
I don't know if there's tourist touch. That's kind of a symptomatic of a certain kind of capitalist era that we haven't really entered to in this setting. I mean, you can get religious icons relevant to the area if that's what you want. You can.
Yeah, I'll get one of those.
Sure. I mean, they come in varying sizes. You can have one that's like, close to a meter tall or something that, kind of is
no, just the cheapest, tattiest.
Oh, yeah, sure. You can get a little leather thong around the neck of, Nusku, doing his, the way he's kind of depicted is this kind of arms, kind of, I can't really get it on the camera, kind of rounded and outstretched, and kind of, you see the little holes have been put in from which these strings holding red beads dangle, which symbolises him letting his blood into the underneath the city. Perhaps while trading this, you'll get the story that Nusku, his blood and tears are the kind of went into the soil here, and that's whereupon they built the Tower of Behel.
Pretty cool. But I'm just going to write down leather thong.
Well, you could say religious art object brackets Nusku close brackets.
Leather thong.
Okay. That just means just a loop of leather. Just
all right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not underwear. Sure. Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
My dagger is made of flint.
Yes.
If they had finer metallurgy than that, would it be a different kind of dagger in any?
So there are
sense.
As I kind of said, there are there are magical metals you can make things on that would have mechanical benefits, but a flint dagger here is no more better than a bronze dagger. And actually, in terms of real world, it'd probably be better than a bronze dagger. And bronze work is the level of metallurgy here, at least available to the public.
Disdain for their primitive obsession with metals.
Sure.
Base and non-divine metals.
Fair enough. So, shall we say that you all, you gather what little amenities you need, and you go to Fabats for the evening, or
Yeah, let's go back
he
to
hasn't
the
technically
bat.
invited you, but you can crash at his place. I would say you go there. There are a few moments of dinner of subdued but audibly tense words between Fabat's wife, occasional sideways glances to Jurab, but by and large, it is similar to last night. Children, his two kids, kind of asking you stories. Fabat's sister, who seems very quiet, kind of just, occasionally kind of talking, eating with you. Fabat seems, oh, you have brought a friend as well, and Locks again. She does eat a lot. But he, while he's not like massively enthusiastic about it, he doesn't bar you from the door or anything. He lets you in. You share a good meal again. You find rest in this very cramped situation now that you're adding 5 people in here.
Here's something I would like to do in the evening. I'd like to go and see if they have a temple here.
Absolutely. Okay. Sure. So, what you go? How late are we talking? Like in the middle of dinner or before that?
Oh no, I eat and then I go for a walk.
Right in the middle of dinner.
Bye.
Sure, you go off. Throughout the day, perhaps sometimes you will have caught, passing words to get a sense of where the temple is here. They don't have, unlike Dwyer Inish, they don't have, kind of a raised steeple or point to mark out a religious place here. But let's see. I will say that eventually, kind of coming back to the areas you caught these words in, you do find a place overcast. There's building. This is not underground, but it is. There is a kind of an alleyway turns, and then you're in a bridged over kind of dead end that you do see has carved into it this sculpture similar to what you saw with Carillia, these rounded arms outstretched and the blood and tears descending from them, the hermaphrodite form of Nusku, although the sculpture here is not particularly ornate. It's not quite what they have at Dwyer Inish. And they have, you can see that perhaps a few, smattering of food has been left on plates and so on here. A few small parts of incense burned in tribute, kind of, you can catch their smell still in the air. And flanking this person, you do see the kind of, the stiff side-on depiction of what you think are wizards, kind of, on top of each other, and from their hands come lightning and wind and rain and other strange powers, kind of flanking this depiction of Nusku. I will say that just looking at this place, this seems, there's nice. There's a certain perhaps homeliness to this, but it lacks a ostentatiousness. You think that maybe the gods here are small. You'll have seen maybe a small shrine in Fabat's house. It's more, things are quiet, and where the worship happens more personal than they are grand, you think, in this city.
This place does seem very uncivilized. So what Ailey specifically wanted was she wanted to see if there were god statues like in her home, in Dwyer Inish. Because she...
Oh, so you mean members of the Dwyer Inish pantheon, to be clear?
No, I mean like... So I think Dwyer Inish being a religious centre is partly because, as we may have discussed, the statues are quite remarkable and unusual, and they're not simply graven idols, but they perhaps have some technological element. But to Ailey, that is an aspect of divinity rather than an aspect of artifice. And she's hoping to have a sort of to to find maybe a familiar god, but maybe also just a god statue that she thinks is comfortingly powerful, because she's been a long time away from such a being. But if they're carved of stone or other base materials, she's disappointed.
Yeah, no, this is all just made from stone. But you can give me a religion check if you want.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that Nusku is outside of the Dwyer-Inish pantheon, but you may really have heard that there's some overlap here. So you can give me a religion check if you want.
Yeah, you'll have to roll for me.
Oh,
but,
sure. You rolled a 18. Go on, rolling well for you.
I roll a +4, so that's 22.
Okay, so looking over this thing, approaching, maybe you run...
Hang on, that should be +5, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. Well, I mean, still. Maybe you run a hand over it, feel the coarse stone. And looking round at the kind of the size of this thing, you have the wizards who are directly aside this, but on the ground, this statue of Nusku is built into this place. And around his feet, you do see there are kind of cruder effigies rising, almost as if they're kind of raising the square block that this statue of Nusku comes out of, or is built atop. You think amongst these, you spy, although it's hard to make out, you think that maybe this kind of round, this kind of cylinder that opens up slightly at either end and has a certain kind of chips put into the side represents a bushel of wheat. And at this effigy's feet is a shield, you think. And you suspect this is Geist, which is one of your pantheon, the protector of farmlands. And the shield that he steps upon is the one that covers the world. Although this is seen as kind of an act of standing over in your understanding of the faith, that he straddles a shield over the world to protect it and protect the farmlands therein. So you do find amongst this thing a small kind of almost as if someone's half tried to kind of sculpt a half-remembered one of your gods. You do find it amongst this display.
Okay. But there's nothing.
But nothing technological here.
It's all base. I think Ailey is heartened to find some mark of her home pantheon, and she's feeling in need of some protector, and also some mark of home and of peaceful and what's the word? So some idyllic past that she imagines, but maybe she never was part of.
Sure.
But if she sees nothing that she thinks will appreciate her mantra, she's going to leave.
Sure. Okay. You quietly return to Fabat's home as the meal is wrapping up. People are beginning to find rest. Yeah, I mean, you probably have to kind of like bump elbows against someone else here, given the cramped conditions. Fabat's children are kind of, lying on his stomach as it slowly rises and falls as he's fallen asleep. You think after maybe a fairly busy day, he seemed fairly tired. And you'll get a long rest. I will give you, I don't know, Grace, if you spent your inspiration yet, but I'll give it to you for that kind of religious moment. Okay, well, you can't stack them, I'm afraid, but, there you go. So, it is the morning after. You rise. Barney, you kind of get woken up as the heavy hand of Locks goes, "Come on, wake up." I'm excited. You pick yourselves up.
Before we go, I've just had something that's eating away at my brain a little bit. Not literally. I've spoken to a couple of people and they seem really confused as to why we are the only two people who haven't been put in this group.
Why do you care?
That's a good point. Let me just get on with it.
Yeah, Locks, you think, is not particularly concerned about these comings and goings.
Okay.
I think she'll add though. She'll say, "You and me, Barney, we are free warriors. We are not meant to live out our lives in service to some petty wizard."
You're right. I'm a free warrior.
Yeah.
Lox, did the wizard send you to do this?
Sorry?
Lox, did the wizard send you to do this?
Do what?
Travel with us.
I was offered this by Illic, but it is my choice and Barney's words that I am here.
Indeed.
My words. I just mutter under my breath. I just go, my words.
Anyway, you pick yourselves up, you clean yourselves off, you perform any, morning rituals that you may hold, and you make your way, following Barney and Lox, who know the city best, to the East Gate. There you see that there are some merchants kind of prepping themselves to make their way eastwards, and amongst them you do see the figure of Nuh, who does, on seeing Barney and Nox, kind of raise a hand, not wave enthusiastically, but a kind of, here I am way. To describe Nuh, he's very similar to Ilek in terms of physique. The same very dark skin, dense black hair, curly. But he's very kind of humble in his attire, and he doesn't have the strange, some of the oddness of Ilek, in the sense that Ilek has those stained blue eyes and teeth, and Nuh's arms are both of the typical length. And also, actually, maybe Barney will notice that there is a certain amount of he looks just physically very well to come together to you. No mutations that you notice on Nuh.
Does he wear gloves?
Does he wear gloves? No, he doesn't wear gloves. He doesn't even have...
There's
I don't know what that means.
Because Babus doesn't have any...
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, he there may be under his clothes. You're not sure. But he wears a kind of fairly kind of light-fitting tunic of white. As you approach, you see that next to him are these two very large, kind of bulky lizards. Each one is kind of longer than a car, although quite a bit stouter. And there are these packs lashed to them. You do see that along their sides hang several filled, large bladders holding water, you suspect. These creatures are shaggy. They have this long, greasy hair that extends between their scales, which, although thin, does give them this kind of hairy, shaggy appearance. Almost like those dogs that look like mops. I can't remember the name.
Oh, yeah, I know ones.
Mop dogs.
I can't remember the name of them. Oh, well. But like...
Mop dogs.
Yeah, like a mop dog had thin hair. They're a bit like that, but of course reptilian, and they're kind of their large saggy heads and their kind of sunken baggy eyes kind of regard you lazily while they're eating from a pail. You perhaps catch a few insects picking out of this bucket while they eat.
Can I go over to them and just sit by them?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, you know how to take care of these things. You know where they like to be scratched and so on. And
yeah, I'll give them a scratch.
Yeah, I mean, all of you can see that Barney has a certain amount of affinity for animals here. Nook looks all you, goes, hello. You're all the people that my master has sent to me, yes?
Yes.
Sure. You nod. Tell me, how much did Ilek tell you?
Not much.
Nothing at all.
I will say,
I'm
for those of
joining
you
your journey.
who don't know Nook, so that's Karilia and Ailey and Jurab, you do notice this person has a lot of similarity to Ilek in terms of accent, intonation, and appearance. But there's a certain amount of kind of neatness to them that perhaps you didn't quite get from Ilek, at least in terms of appearance, or maybe less gaudiness.
Can I tell by looking at him what I think like his role is?
His role,
like, because he doesn't. Yeah.
Well, he kind of gets that before he kind of preempts you saying that. So he goes, "I am the close assistant of Ilek, the wizard, who I believe you're all acquainted with at this point. I mean, we did all see each other the night before last. I'm heading to Rafe Reach. It's and Harry. This name rings out to Jura because Rafe Reach you pass through on the way to Behel. It is an outpost placed by Thype on the other side of the Z Salt Desert that you travelled through only a week ago, maybe, or 5 days ago.
Nice place.
I mean, it's just two buildings and a stretch of dirt, basically. But it's it's a way station, so it has food stockpiles and so on that's used by the Thype Empire. It's not a town by any stretch. So far as you can tell, only 2 families live there. So Nook continues. Travel should take about 3 days there, a day there, 3 days back, a week in total. I have a transaction to be made there, and a stop of some religious significance along the way that I can handle at night, but these are the 2 things that are important. Now,
Tell me about your pilgrimage.
More religious study than worship. Indeed. And you get the intonation of indeed for kind of like a, maybe don't pry further unless you wish to. But he doesn't seem enthusiastic about divulging.
She says, where are you going to study? Sorry, where are we going to study?
There is a site along the way, or a site is the wrong word. There perhaps once was a site along the way, and my master has bid that I give this place a look. Study outside the city is always something valued by the wizards of Behel. Hope you can appreciate that.
Indeed, I am intrigued by the possibility of a significant religious site, of which I was not aware.
Now I have brought Barnelect and Lox here along for protection. Both of them have some competence with the sword, sword might not be the right word for what Lox wields currently, but so I'm slightly going to Fabat's voice here, but companionship along the way is a good deterrent to banditry and predators and the like. And I'm told that, and he looks to Corellia, and some of you have talents besides that may be of value. So I hope you can...
I can whistle.
Keep yourself... He kind of smiles at your joke. Keep yourselves safe, and also, should it come to it, although it should not, ensure I am kept safe. Although I do not foresee you being in any particular mortal peril. And kind of laughs at his own kind of slightly macabre words. And now I'm just going to roll. And you see that Nook looks past all of you to behind you all, and clocks someone approaching.
Oh, no.
Those of you who turn to follow his gaze do look around to see Djib, the alchemist. Barney, you'll recognise this person, as will Ailey, and Lox. This rotund figure, flanked by just 4 guards this morning, with the veil over his eyes and the small, pieces of technology of a wizard. He will kind of shout out and go, "This is most unbecoming for an assistant of a wizard to be heading out in these periods of restructuring, Nook." And Nook will go, "Allow me to just sort this out, everyone," and just kind of comes through you as a group. "Can I help you, my lord alchemist?" "Yeah. What are these people doing with you? You have 2 warriors," and looks to Krilia. "Possible Esper, I believe. A monk. And this one is a wielder of the gun. The other warriors. You are here for combat or something. I do not approve of this. This is outside of your purview to be heading with fighters eastwards in these sensitive times. Does any of you cut in before Nook speaks? I just want to ask. You don't have to. I'm not asking you to, just in case you want to dive right in there, because Nook is coming in to reply, but I will give you an opportunity.
I'm not a warrior. I carry these for a certain degree of self-protection, but I'm just, helping him out.
Yes. Well, I mean, helping us out. Nook looks round and out of the view of Djib the alchemist and his guards, does give a brief wink to you, Jurab, and goes, No, Jurab here is just heading eastwards as a matter of course. He comes from Thype, and having been cut loose, he thinks he will head back to where he knows. We have locks here to carry wares, and Barney is, of course, a dromad. He knows passages very well. We can always use a dromad for travelling distances. This one here, and puts a hand on Corellia, says, is merely a humble healer, skilled in the art of disease prevention. We all want to play it safe when it comes to matters of the Shell Plague, I'm sure you can appreciate. And this one, only here for religious council. I'm sure you've heard that Ilek has been planning this religious research exposition for some time. And this monk, has some expertise in the field. And I will say, even though all of you can kind of pick up...
Can I say slightly disdainfully to the alchemist, perhaps you are aware of the expertise of Dwerinish in these matters?
Of course I have heard of Dwerinish. I will say all of you here, I mean, a lot
I'd
of you...
like to look surprised in a condescending way.
A lot of you know that Nook is either outright lying or twisting the truth here, but lies with an absolute confidence that all of you for a second think that he is telling the truth about what you're here for. You think, maybe we are here for that. Maybe that is our role.
That makes sense.
As an Esper, can I sense when magic is being used or not?
Yeah, sure. Give me a check with your spell casting ability modifier plus proficiency.
Okay.
I think it's +7.
Out of interest, is Barney's golden path...
That'd be 22.
Sorry, one sec, Grace. 22. Okay, so you kind of, for a moment, extend your senses, and you don't feel any psychic influence here before they retract. You don't think there's any psychic influence happening here. Sorry, what did you say, Grace?
I was wondering if Barney's powers that affect fate, are they psychic?
Are you asking that as a player? Because this is well outside of you, like
I
wouldn't
imagine that Ailey would know. I don't think she's even aware that such a thing is happening.
I mean, not to like to reveal things too soon, but like, kind of, you know.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm happy with.
You know, I don't want to divulge too many details right now before we've really seen them like get into effect anyway. So yeah, Djib kind of seems a bit caught off guard by your Dwerinish question, because I can't see why the expertise of Dwerinish would have any relevance this far northeast. I will be bringing this up before the council. I want you to know, so you may well be recalled by an outrider before long. I think you would be prudent to stop wasting your time and simply wait here to be fetched, Nook. Nook goes, I don't work for you, not yet at least, so I will be following my master's bidding for now. And turns around and goes, anyway, shall we go, everyone? Are we all ready?
Do I know?
Yeah.
Sorry?
When he spoke of turbulent times or something, do I know what that means? Or
Turbulent times.
yeah, he said like you're traveling in these.
In a period of restructuring. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
I will say that Corellia is fairly, in terms of experience, far removed from notions of bureaucracy and kind of government as an institution. So that might just be, you might interpret period of restructuring as kind of like, I don't know, like, you know, maybe they've got to, you know, start farming new stuff or something, or they've got to find new hunting grounds or some shit. it would be fairly vague. I don't think Karelia would be able to kind of deduce anything from that particularly. That's all right.
But there's nothing more going on than just restructuring there.
Give me an insight check.
Okay. That is.
No, that's 20.
Aha!
Wow.
Okay, so I think what you can connect with is political machination. People trying to shape circumstances to suit their benefits. And you get the sense that Dejib is trying to drag events, you're not sure what particularly, but pull them in a particular way that Ilek is standing either in direct opposition to, or is acting in such a way that causes, that is slowing those ambitions. Beyond that, I mean, you can't intuit what really is going on, but you can pick up those kind of that social element to it.
Okay.
Cool. Right. Do you all depart then?
Yeah.
I think so.
Dejib, kind of angered slightly, leaves with his entourage.
Before we go, Liam, I have a question.
Yeah.
But first, I've forgotten a thing.
Oh,
Can you give me some spellings of various names?
Okay, Ilek, Saibis Ilek is Saibis space Ilehk. Nuh.
Well, I didn't hear any of that because your internet or my internet did something bad halfway through.
So the wizard, this is all in service to, is called Saibis Ilek, Saibis. I can just tell you this after the game if you want, Harry.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Sick
what
one.
What if the fans want to hear?
Yeah,
well,
I'm sure they do.
They can message
Fans?
us on Twitter or something, and I'll answer. The fans.
Follow us on Twitter.
Okay, so as you leave, you do see the eastern gate of Behel, and having been around the city a bit, with the rest of the walls and gates of Behel are eroded, their brickwork pockmarked, and their sculptures chipped, the west gate of Behel stands immaculate and proud. Stern sphinxes and swooping rocks look from its flanks to the gate, and above, the hermaphrodite form of Nusku sheds stone blood and tears, said to be the reagents that formed the alchemical pools beneath Behel's tower. Overlooking the bridge crossing the Zura, this gate would be the first sight of any westbound merchant entering the city, and its maintained majesty speaks to the pride and priorities of Behel's rulers, you think. As you go and you look beyond, you do see these several large white tents fluttering in the breeze. Zurab, you know this to be the half-legion that accompanied Moda Rayfort to Behel, that are still here, implying that your former master is here too. Although from what you picked up, you believe that she is not planning to stay here for long. But you're you weren't privy to too many details. So beyond that, you're not sure. You begin to leave, and you head out onto the road. You cross this bridge, and soon find yourself traversing this area where the footfalls of 1,000 merchants before you has worn away the dirt, to leave a loose path of pale stone that gently winds across the landscape. Do you have any conversations? Do you share any words? Do anything on this particular trip?
I'm just asking endless questions, like to a real annoying level, just about everything I see.
And I'm answering them as earnestly as possible.
I'm occasionally I'll interject to make some probably wrong but still very obnoxious correction. Something Barnabas says.
Very good.
Barnelect, sorry. I keep thinking it's Barnabas because Barney.
That's all right.
I apologize.
I quite like Barnabas.
Is Lux quite like a person of few words?
Yeah, Lux is you think Lux is more of a person of action more than words. Although she's not against talking or anything. She's not strong and silent. She just doesn't really particularly know what to say unless you tease out of her.
Is she going to let Ailey not say very much and be in a comfortable silence if they travel if they walk next to each other?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like if you're both walking side by side, Lox does not. You don't think that Lox has this notion that she has to say something. So maybe her and Ailey kind of sync
Ailey's
up
all
very
about
well.
that. Like they just kind of they enjoy the walk together.
Sure.
They vibing.
Yeah, they vibe.
Enjoying the vibe of the lion and the house cat.
As you go on the second day, you do
I like that.
come across an area where, upon the road, at some points you see the pebbles and dust give away to a rust red, and you see that the earth kind of splits, yawning on one side of the road, and as there's a kind of a slight clang of metal as you step upon this, you look across, you realize that this is part of the rusted road, this long and ancient highway that cuts all the way through Alakfazi and goes both far further to the west and far further to the east. This place that was said to once be the kind of a passageway of the gods itself, now through the passing of the ages brought down to the level of mortals, such that it melts in and out of the landscape here. That's something you see on your way. Perhaps one of your nights you spend underneath the archway of one of these rusted highways, where it emerges to form a kind of a shallow cave from some protection of the wind.
Can we have the map out?
Yeah, I mean,
is it formed of metal or like shaped stone?
No, it's the rusted road is itself formed of metal.
It's in the name, isn't it? When I hear the name again.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
You have inspiration for paying attention. No,
I know I've got triple inspiration.
No, I'm joking.
Goes to 1.
So yeah, you are heading eastwards to the Salt Desert Sea, and beyond that, some of you know as the Thype Empire. When we get to the third night, there is a period in which Nuch rises. You can see he's prepared a few things. He's taken out from his pack something, some bound objects or object that you've not seen before, which he briefly kind of regards and then looks to all of you and goes, I have the active religious study that I have to attend to now. Barney and Lox, if
May I
you'd
accompany you?
Give me a persuasion check.
Can I? So do I get to, if I have inspiration, can I roll it after I've...
Yeah, you can act inspiration after you've done the roll. So
That's
you rolled a
marvellous,
natural
'cause
1. So do you want to...
because I have... I'll re-roll that then.
Sure. You got an 11 plus your modifier.
Lovely. Which is nothing. Because I can tell that he's not moved by my mere request.
Well, you don't know that. I mean, like, a 10 is a normal person.
Okay,
so,
well...
it's up to you. You can do something else if you wish.
Going to say, I feel that I have little rhetorical force against him, so I'm going to say, I was not sent just as company. I do have access to some divine technology that may aid you in your task.
You know, he doesn't seem surprised by you saying this. And says, very well, you can... Yes, and Barney and Lox, if you would... And Jurab, if you could just keep an eye out. There are... I hear stories of, shimmer cats and mountain lions and the like preying upon travellers. If you just make sure that no one here's attacked or anything.
Oh, don't you worry, we got it.
I was talking to Jurab there, but he hasn't responded, so strong and silent type, I think.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the last line?
Okay.
Apologies. I was briefly distracted. That was very bad of me.
Nook asked, said that he's heard that sometimes shimmer cats and mountain lions prey on travellers here, so if you could keep an eye out for any surroundings while Lox and Barnalex and Ailey go off. So, yeah.
No, yes, you're right. terrible. They're very dangerous. I've seen one of those catch take a man's head off completely with a single swipe of this giant paw.
Is Giraffe just making this up?
Am I about to be told that they're like a foot tall or something?
No. I mean, they are like Shimmercats are like mountain lions, so Okay,
right.
sure. I don't know if he has seen that, but he probably actually could have maybe.
No, I'm lying. I'm lying.
Nook just goes, right, okay. Anyway, shall we? And he begins to walk up this rocky slope in the distance. The kind of the Alach Mountains are rising, and he walks with a lot of you for kind of on a fairly steep climb for perhaps 30, 40 minutes. By the time you kind of get up to where he stops, your legs are warm and tired, suffice to say, until he stands around. You see that he briefly kind of inclines his head as if to regard something in his palm that none of you see. And goes, right, I think... he kind of looks directly at the ground. I believe here is good. And you see he very kind of precisely, almost like a genuflection, kneels down, places this bundle in front of him and unfolds this cloth, and you see these 4 neat cubes of a shiny black, perfect in shape. Ailey, you definitely think these will be Eater magic. And he places them very neatly in front of them to be 4 points of a square. He then rolls up the cloth and begins to make shapes with his hand over these things. And you see as he begins to say 4 words, Aum, Fatum, Ilich, Azah. And then with each word, one of these cubes kind of glows with an orange from within. And you thought these things were just, perfectly opaque square objects, but now they illuminate and scatter a bit of orange glow to the ground around them. And as he completes the last word, at first you hear it rather than see it, this sound of grinding, and then you see a perfect square is slowly being hollowed into the ground in between each of these cubes, as if each one marks out a corner of this square column or absence of a column being dug into the earth that just kind of slowly grinds downwards and downwards. Nuch just sits there regarding it. Do any of you say anything while this happens? Barney, you notice that Lox is instead keeping eyes.
Oh, sorry.
Giraffe is not there.
What? I thought. Oh wait, I'm
Yeah, you are with Carillia and the lizards. You can give me a perception check, by the way, if you want to try to watch your surroundings.
Can I hear the old noise from
No,
down
it's
here?
too far away, and it's carried off by the wind to be heard where you are. Lox, you see her eyes have narrowed to slits. And she kind of sniffs.
Carillia and the Lizards is a great name for a band, by the way.
Yeah.
Just.
Can I say, is this the study or the excavation?
The real questions.
Nook kind of regards the question for a moment and goes, essentially both. This is an act of confirmation.
Indeed.
What are you confirming?
All in time, Barney. Lox sniffs the air and says, I think someone is approaching.
Oh no.
The lizards and the Carillia and Zurab. I can smell them on the breeze.
They're approaching, or someone else is approaching?
Someone is approaching them.
Oh, someone's approaching them.
Should I head back? They're not that close, I think.
No, you don't you do it, Lux. I'll do it.
No, are you expecting foul play?
I was expecting no such thing, but it's not beyond the machinations of the wizards. Dejib did seem a little pissed off. He seems almost amused at the idea of maybe another wizard kind of trying to come to kill you all or something. Lox, what direction are they coming from? And Lox sniffs again. Can't tell. Need to get closer. He looks to you, Barnlect. Says, might be nothing. Might just be travel on the road. Barney, head back and maybe give them a bit of forewarning.
Okie doke.
I do.
You begin to head back. It's a lot easier going down the slope, but you're still going to take at least 20, 25 minutes to get back to camp. Ailey and Lox stand there. Lox clearly a bit nervous, and she does keep kind of clenching and unclenching her hand around the handle of her giant sword. Eventually, the grinding stops, and Nuh then produces a second smaller roll of cloth, which he unfurls and produces a small chrome ball, which he drops into the hole. But it's Ailey, you see that it doesn't fall like any ordinary dropped object. It's small. It falls slowly, deliberately, at a uniform speed, and you do hear the faint sound as it descends, that echoes out of this hole. Nuh makes a gesture, and then, kind of fading into the night above this hole, you see a view to the bottom of it. And there, this magical eye of some kind looks around, and you see a strange silver carapace in a kind of a loose coating of the sandstone around it. And as this thing looks around, you see that this column has not only dug down, but also dug sideways as well, and appears to have carved out a kind of the lines of a cube in the earth around some shape. Not so that it can be removed from the earth, but it does reveal the kind of, you can get the impressions of what this thing is, and you begin to get the idea of some strange silver insect buried in the ground. But then you regard as well, on the other side of this thing, you see the metallic protrusions of another one of these things in the earth to the left side of it, and then the front and the back and around, and you see a perfect uniformity in this, how this thing is suspended in the earth, and its protrusions from where the earth has been carved out reflected, and you wonder how many of these things are under the ground.
Interesting. So my internet just had a problem for a minute. I don't know if you noticed.
Okay.
So what I heard was there was a big excavation, a cube, something revealed, and then it was garbled. And then I understand from the last thing you said that a great many of these creatures have been revealed.
Okay. So what has happened is this square column has been dug into the earth, and then has been dug out in kind of lines that would form a cube around this thing. So there's still some object largely encased in stone, but you can see protrusions that have been unaffected by this carving sticking out of it in places. And from that you gain the impression that there's this strange silver insect thing within the earth. And then seeing these protrusions, you recognize that similar protrusions are on all other sides of it, giving the impression there are possibly a multitude of these things, or just 5, and he picked exactly the right spot, underneath the ground here. That is what you get from looking at this. We are going to cut back to the camp where Zurab, you're sitting by the fire. Did you give me a perception check, Harry?
No, didn't you say you're doing on the passive, which is like fucking high anyway?
Well, I told you to keep an eye out, so you could make a perception check if you want.
Okay, I'll do one. If the dice will go.
I'll just roll for
Give
you
me
now.
a second.
You rolled a 5.
Okay.
You rolled a 5.
A what?
You rolled a 5.
A 5. Fantastic. I think I've got 6 perception.
Okay. You are regarding your surroundings, but you can't see far with the camp light not spreading much, and it being kind of dimmed and buffeted by the wind that removes much of a sense of much of your perception of sound as well, until you hear the grinding of footfalls against stone as coming westward 4 strangers emerge from the darkness. You do see that all of them have swords slung at their hips. And on some of them, you will notice pretty much immediately there are these scraps of Thype military armor. Not a complete set, not sure what, but the approach from the darkness and the one at the front, a woman perhaps in her early 20s comes forward and goes, "Oh, hello there, stranger. Will we be able to join you at your campsite?"
I look at Dora.
Is that at me?
Yeah, at you.
I hope they're not going to thipe us out.
And I think we will end there. All right. Okay.
What fuck? Okay, fine.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to end there. Cool. I think that was a good session. I didn't think... Sorry, you're right, Sam.
Yeah.
I
I
think
thought it was a
Place
good
to leave it.
good
quite
pun to end
where we
on.
wanted to, but oh well. I always tend to overestimate how far we'll get. Anyway, you'll have fun.
No.
All right, well, I've got that on stream.
No, it was shit. It was awful.
Yeah, as
Very
usual. Anyway, if anyone's still here watching, we've got some viewers. Great. All right, thanks everyone for watching. Goodbye.
Thank
Bye.
you, guys.
Bye.